formed against me shall prosper.
Oh,
it won't work.
No weapon
formed against me. Give me that ad lib again.
No weapon.
One more time.
No weapon.
One more time.
No weapon.
Who the fuck y'all hoes?
Okay, the facts are back, bitch.
Who the fuck y'all hoes think it was, bitch, or what time of day it was?
Okay. Man, I got to wait till Tuesday. Okay. Oh my God. I just need to keep hearing that right there. Hey, you are awesomely awesome, and you're the best. You're the best. Blessed. Just hell. I can't even sound. I don't even know what to say.
Had a vision for 20 in the morning, thinking I'm a little sister sin morning. Struggling with realities, no melodies, holidays the same, everything's changed. No Bowie, no Prince, and no Michael, no Andre Crouch and the Disciples, no Walter, Edwin, or Deborah Coley, no Whitney, no George Michael. Toys R Us gone bankrupt. Damn, the Guitar City went bankrupt. Everything from my childhood's missing, man. Man, I swear it's such a fucked up feeling, man. I'm not mad, it's a simple observation. And I'm not sad, but it's not a celebration. I'm just trying to put the pieces back together, man. Everything's falling through my fingers like sand. It seems the tighter that I'm gripping. It seems the more that I am slipping. I feel like I lost everything I love. And where's this alleged agape love? And churches ain't the same. Gospel music just ain't the same. R&B, it just ain't the same. But y'all keep telling me it's the same. But I ain't feeling nothing, damn it. And I don't wanna reach up and grab it. Shots fired, get to ducking. Always knew they were up to something. This ain't no future in your frontin'. And y'all know you still out here fool. I'm not a baby, bro, I'm grown. Don't leave me standing out here alone. That's why I wrote this song. Because I know I'm not alone. What are we out here doing? What are we out here saying? People don't care no more. So fuck it, I don't care no more. This is too much for you to handle. I was always too much to handle. There ain't
team. Took a bullet for the dream that we would one day all be free, free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity. I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I'm still live through technology. Pain, and tears of pain, and a dash of transfiguration. Your destiny will manifest. Yes, bones in the sea.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Everybody, what's up? Short Stack Revolution. What's going on in this BIBI? Okay, we are live again with the redo, y'all. Last night it wasn't right, but that's okay because we got it right tonight. Amen. Okay. I'm glad to be in the building. I'm glad to have this conversation. First of all, shout out to Tit for Tat and Queen Stevie for being the inspiration for this live. Even though this is a conversation that we should be having, I'm grateful that we're having it today. Okay, but before we go forward, let me go ahead and look in the comments real quick. We got King Aries in the building. What's going on, King Aries? Glad to have you here. We got Queen Stevie, who just popped up in the back. I see you, Queen. Glad to have you here. We got Queen Spicy. Queen Spicy. We got you. What's going on? Let me put this music down some. Can y'all still hear me? Hopefully I'm not too loud. Let me put this down some. There we go. Maybe I was too loud. Hopefully you can hear me. But we got Queen Spicy in the building. Okay, y'all, I want y'all to sound off in the chat. Okay, I want y'all to sound off in the comments. Do what you do. Share what you believe. We are here to have the congregation, girl. We are here to have the conversation with the black delegation, okay? There are going to be different type of ways of thinking, which is what we need. We don't need everybody to be thinking the same way in reference to the outer expressions. We need everybody to think the same way as far as the core thing of what we're going to do to build upon. But as far as those branches, we're going to need the branches. And with that being said, let's bring up the other branches. First of all, let's bring up, because we're going to do ladies first. Okay. Shout out to the queen. Okay. The one and the only. Okay. Queen Stevie. Queen Stevie, how are you doing, Queen?
I am doing wonderful. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Glad to have you here. Ooh, I'm just rhyming today. What is it? The weed has me rhyming. I don't know. But we're glad to have you here. I definitely want you to sound off because, again, this conversation was sparked from conversation in the chat that we have, our own little group chat on Instagram. And if you want to be a part of that, you can go ahead and be a part of that by first making sure you follow me on YouTube, Bubs the God. And I'm gonna give y'all a stipulation. You got to be following for at least a month, and you have to be actively commenting so I know it's real. Okay? If y'all on some bullshit, y'all gonna have to work to infiltrate. No shade. Okay? But the conversation was sparked because y'all was talking. Okay? Queen Stevie was saying her part, but then we have the one and the only. Okay? T for T, tit for tat. I like saying T for T because I hate saying tit. But we got T for T in the building. How are you doing?
What's up, everybody? Hey, Miss Stevie.
Hi. Hey,
Yes,
Al.
Spicy. What's up, Bubs?
Glad to have you here because you were sharing your thoughts. Now, for those of you who don't know, y'all need to go ahead and go over and subscribe to Tit for Tat, okay? He's recently been showing us what it looks like to be on, the foot to the ground, boot to the ground, out there with the people, out there protesting. And he shared a very strong point within the group chat as well, as far as, look, black people, eventually we're going to have to fight, okay? Eventually. We're not saying right now, you know what I'm saying? But eventually. So it's like, I kind of wanted to explore that more Now, what I'm going to do is I have like four clips that I'm going to share that kind of like, complement the conversation that I kind of want to have. But before we get into that, I'm gonna ask both of y'all a question. First, I'm gonna start off with Queen Stevie. Queen Stevie, again, um, what do you believe black people? Just give me like a synopsis, if you will. What do you believe black people should be doing right now at this very moment?
I say what we're doing now, which is resting, but also doing what Owl is doing, and that is boots to the ground, being vigilant, staying aware to everything that is going on. But we just can't sit out because they're going to try us. Like one of the articles that I sent in the group chat says that Donald Trump is now considering deporting Americans. So, which Americans are you talking about? Because you basically have got rid of all of the Latino, Mexican, Venezuelan immigrants out this country. So, who's next? All eyes are pointing towards black people. So, like Bubs just said, it could be time for us to fight. And this man is already, well, I'm just wait till we watch the video clips because my biggest concern right now is April 20th. Like, I couldn't even do my interview yesterday, barely. I got through. I tried to take it out of my mind and block it out of my mind, but it's alarming. And I think that everybody should know exactly what's going to take place on April 20th. April 20th is not just Easter Sunday, but it was also Adolf Hitler's birthday. And Donald
Oh
Trump wants
wow.
to do a military parade that will be in June. So this military parade, one of the video clips I also sent was from the DC mayor, Mayor Muriel Bowser, and she was being interviewed by one of the press journalists for that was in the White House when Donald Trump was there's first term, April Ryan, a black female news reporter, and she was talking to Mayor Muriel Bowser in DC, and if I heard her correctly, I said tanks. She said tanks. So, what are those tanks for? A lot of questions that need answers. What are
Right.
you using the tanks for? Exactly. And if you put two and two together, I can't say what I'm thinking he's going to do with those tanks on this application right here. Because I feel that's probably what happened to my channel because of me speaking out. I can't even see my
Mm,
damn videos.
wow. That
But
possibly could be it.
yes,
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Okay.
so Miss,
because I'm not shadow banned. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
um, so do we have a minute for me to read this about April 20th? What's about the, what is possibly about to?
Yeah, go ahead. Share.
We
Share the information.
got like
Yes.
2 or 3 minutes for me to read this.
Yes, most definitely. Go ahead.
And if I fumble a little bit, just ignore me because I do fumble over my words sometimes. So, but
You good.
this is an article, uh, and they had a discussion about this that about April 20th, 2025, about the Insurrection Act that Trump is about to, or at least he wants to, and he probably will come April 20th, try to implement, this, this Insurrection Act. So I'm gonna read this.
Hmm.
I really wish there was a way to go into the hands of every American before April 20th. This says part one. On April 20th, 2025, the United States may cross the point of no return. It sounds wild, maybe even crazy, but every step is already in motion. I'd be happy to be wrong, but if this is correct, you'll be ready. On April 20th, 25, the United States may initiate its final steps into authoritarian rule. That's the day Donald Trump's advisory committee is expected to release its findings on whether he should invoke the Insurrection Act, a move that will allow him to deploy the military domestically and allow Trump to impose martial law. And as his 2 months in office has already shown, he won't stop at just a legal opinion. Expect an executive order even the same day or the next, officially declaring
Mm,
the Insurrection Act, restricting freedoms in the name of restoring control of the border and perhaps in blue state cities, and
wow.
setting the larger plan in motion. Of course, this won't be framed as an attack on democracy. It will be packaged as a necessary response to crisis, as authoritarian takeovers always are. But once it happens, there's no going back. This will be the point of no return. The roadmap for overthrowing a democratic government isn't new or theoretical. It's a well worn playbook tested and repeated across history by those who crave power more than liberty. After rejecting it initially, being incredulous, I have realized there is too much evidence suggesting this may be what's happening now to remain silent. Telling other people what may be happening so they can recognize it and maybe together we can stop it is my entire purpose here. This is part one of what has turned into a series. It's called their coup playbook, how they quietly kill the Constitution in the coming weeks and months. This is how democracy ends. It won't happen all. It won't all happen in one night. Instead, the process will unfold in stages, each step making resistance harder. Free elections, a free press, and the right to protest will disappear one piece at a time until there's nothing left to save. My entire goal here is to make people aware so you can recognize it. If it really is what's happening, and maybe together we can help stop it, it's all I personally can do. Here's how it will happen step by step after Trump invokes the Insurrection Act with an executive order. Number one, resist. Demonstrations grow. Just as planned, left leaning and even more centrist people will be alarmed. Peaceful protests will be organized nationwide, as they already have been being organized now, with growing numbers of people joining protests each week. The calls to resist will grow louder, and large scale demonstrations will begin forming in major cities. This is exactly what Trump wants. He didn't invoke the Insurrection Act sooner because he needed his opposition to gather first, so he could use them as a tool for his next step. He also waited 90 days instead of invoking it on day one, as Project 2025 recommended. So he would have his people in place and remove those people who would oppose them in the government, military, courts, and civil positions. His cabal is waiting for a strong reaction. They want massive unrest. They need a justification to kick off the next steps in their plan. Number two, the false flag crisis turning protests into terror. The protests will turn violent quickly, maybe in a day, maybe during the next big protest the following weekend. This will turn violent not because of the protesters, but because they will have been infiltrated by agents, provocateurs from militia groups like the Proud Boys, whose goal is to escalate as quickly as possible and give Trump and his cabal an excuse to trigger the next stage. Expect terrorist bombings, targeted assassinations, or high profile acts of violence, either staged or exploited to justify the crackdown. There may even be an extremely profile assassination of a leading right wing leader that changes everything in a moment, and that woke radicals will be blamed, and the country will rally around more extreme measures to bring back order and control. The media will be flooded with images of chaos, pushing the public into a state of fear. Calls for order will follow. Trump, number three, Trump declares expanded martial law and calls for militia to assist the police and military. Trump has already invoked the Insurrection Act. So now he now declares even more extensive and repressive martial law and orders troops into major United States cities where most oppose him, branding protesters and opponents as seditionists, traitors, and the woke mob. He will call on good Americans to grab their guns, like the Patriots of 1776, and join the militias forming to restore order and take back control from the leftist threat. Using militias also gets him around resistance from military leaders who might oppose his orders. The militias already exist: the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, three three percenters, and others. And they are not the same distant fringe. They were at January 6th. The most extreme and radicalized are all released from prison now. They are ready to roll and to answer Trump's call, which they were waiting for 4 years. The militia members are your neighbors. The difference between them and you: these neighbors own and have been training with AR 15s. You and your friends, not so much. This will be framed as help the police and keeping order. Law enforcement will quickly welcome them. or in some cases will deputize them with Trump's support. Number four, mass arrest of opposition leaders, journalists, Democratic officials, and activists will be arrested under charges of sedition, terrorism, or inciting violence. Expect Mark Milley, Liz Cheney, and Adam Kissinger to be arrested quickly and with great press coverage. How long the show trials take is probably a good measure of how much control Trump has established over the courts. Key Democratic governors and attorneys general will be removed first, ensuring no state level resistance. Law enforcement and military ranks will be purged, with loyalty tests ensuring only Trump aligned officers remain. I'm almost finished here, y'all. Military and National Guard take over major cities, expected deployments in Washington, D.C., New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and other blue state strongholds. strongholds. Curfews and lockdowns will be imposed, justified as measures to restore peace. Checkpoints and military policing will become the new normal. Expect them in particular along major highways going to Canada or Mexico and in red states to identify and detain the seditionists, traitors, and people of questionable loyalty. Trump's building of detainment centers in Guantanamo and expansion of the 106 other ICE detention centers was not actually intended for illegal migrants. Whew, if you hear that, if it was not actually intended for illegal migrants, that means it's intended for us.
Yeah.
And just a few days ago, Blackwater founder and billionaire Eric Prince offered to help Trump privatize deportation camps, as has been being done with prisons per Trump's day one executive order. So now Trump has an extra judicial place to store the disloyal and those who resist in for profit camps guarded by militias and loyal military until he decides what to do with them. Number six, press censorship and total media control. Independent news outlets will face shutdowns or takeovers. Those that resist will see their journalists arrested or harassed. Mainstream media will be forced into compliance. Blackmail, corporate pressure, and legal threats will ensure they too toe the line. Social media platforms like X, Twitter, will amplify the official narrative, drowning out opposition. Other social media and lines of communication will be turned off. The internet will be monitored. People identified from this monitoring for arrest using Palantir technology. Peter Thiel, or Thiel, however you want to say it, Peter Thiel, who I've written about before, is co-founder of Palantir. We fully enter the surveillance state. Will fully enter the surveillance state. Borders closed and dissidents are trapped inside. Passports will be revoked for critics and opponents. If you're not on a list, you're not leaving, especially if you're a draft age. No-fly lists will expand to include activists and journalists. ICE and DHS will be weaponized not just against immigrants, but against political enemies. Number eight, elections are postponed indefinitely. Y'all hear? Elections are postponed indefinitely.
Don't worry, Christians. You don't have to worry.
Right.
Once I'm done, once I get in here, you won't have to vote ever again. I promise you, no voting. It will be great. It'll be wonderful. It'll be splendid. No voting. No voting.
The 2026 midterms will be suspended under the excuse of national security concerns. Red state legislators will eliminate Democratic leaning districts, ensuring permanent Republican control. By 2028, Trump or his handpicked successor will run unopposed. Elections will be a formality, probably still held but rigged. Project 2025 and the Insurrection Act, this was always the plan. This isn't speculation. The Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 lays out a detailed strategy for permanent right-wing control. It openly advocates using the Insurrection Act to crush opposition and dismantle the administrative state. Trump isn't improvising. He's following a script. We can't wait. The time to act is now. We can't sit back and wait for Trump to fire the starting gun because once he does, it will already be too late. We need to prepare now. We need to plan now. We need to dismantle his plans before they begin. We have 1 month. That's it. The only way to stop this coup is by exposing it. The only way I can think of stopping, the only way I can think of to stop this conspiracy, which is the final planning stages, is through exposure. If people see the playbook in advance, they will be less likely be manipulated when it happens. They might question the narrative. Wait, this is what they said would happen. I thought it was crazy, but maybe. We need to we need to spread the narrative far and wide so that when the moment comes, no one can claim ignorance. Maybe we will be proven wrong. Maybe we will look silly, or maybe we will have derailed the plan by telling people what to look for to recognize the playbook steps as if they happen. Here's what we must do before April 20th: empower the press, law enforcement, military, and elected officials to recognize the game that's being played. They need to understand what's happening before they are pressured to go along with it. Share this post or write your own. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Talk with your friends and family about this crazy conspiracy theory that can really happen. Can it? So if and when the steps actually happen, people recognize it for what it is. Prepare the public so they don't take the bait. Trump and his cabal want protests to explode into chaos. They want violence in the streets to justify their crackdown. We must be ready to outmaneuver them who refuse to be used as pawns in their game. Stand up to the militias and stop friends and families from joining them. The Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and other armed groups will be mobilized shock as Trump's shock troops. They will be framed as restoring order, helping the police. We need to be ready to counter this to make sure our neighbors, friends, and family don't get sucked in. Inoculate our fellow citizens against this propaganda. Most Americans are good people, but good people can be misled. They can be scared into compliance. Our job is to make sure they see what's happening before it's too late. The only way to stop this plot is to expose it, reject it, and make it unmistakably clear to every American what is happening. We must stop these malign forces from enacting their will on our country, the world, and each of us and our families. So, and that's basically it. It's a little bit more, but I'm gonna stop there. It just says if it is not stopped and Trump enacts the Insurrection Act, at this point, we probably only have 48 to 72 hours to try to stop everything from happening after the executive order. Once martial law is imposed, there will be a tiny window, no more than 3 days, before resistance becomes nearly impossible. Stopping it before it happens is the best option. But what if we don't? And he just says he'll tell what in his next post, what that is. But I thought that was very telling.
Yes. And if you can, whenever you get a chance, please, please, please send me that
Okay,
on Instagram because I would love to be able to read that for myself
okay.
because
I'm gonna put the link in the short stack.
oh yes, yes, please.
I'll send it to the short stack, and then but I mean it's a long read, but it's
I like reading.
that's possible. Just like they say, the impossible is always possible.
Hmm. Hmm. Uh now you want to call me when I'm live? Damn. Here's the thing. And I'm gonna give my little spiel real quick and then we're gonna get into the video because I really want to show y'all this and get y'all perspectives even more. Um and I'm trying to find a way to say this that is not going to be as offensive, but I feel like no matter what I say, it's going to be offensive. This manifestation, all it literally did was just show America what it really is. The truth has literally come out. This election was won off of fear. And just like you said, there are some people who are going to continue that ride of fear into compliance. Everything that you just named is literally the creation and the maintenance of the Nazi regime, especially with the surveillance part. So how does that help people that are black? people that are queer, people who are not religious.
Right.
And again, like this individual said, they ended up giving us the playbook. And just like Jasmine Garden said the last live that we did before, um, if they're giving us the playbook, why are we not doing anything to counteract the playbook? And to your point, Tifa T, yes, there are some things that our ancestors did, which was like marching, protesting, being in the streets. But I don't think we need to be in the streets. And you know what I mean by we
Right.
need to be in the streets, at least not right now.
All right
We
now.
only in the streets when it comes down to protecting our own, when
Right.
it comes down to protecting our community. I don't want to hear nobody who is not black telling us that we need to be out there in the streets with no shade. African Americans in this country, we are the prototype for what it is that y'all are experiencing or getting ready to experience. Our ancestors lived through this. So we're not going to be on the front lines. Look at history. You know, the history they want to erase. The first Civil War, black people put their lives on the line. And look what happened. A different type of foreigner came over. It wasn't illegal immigrants as far as Latino people. Oh no, it was Europeans. The Homestead Act, anyone like. So again, for black people right now, don't take your ass out there in the streets and do a damn thing. Now, if you want to, that's on you, but it is not a mandate. Because we've already done our marching, we've already done our protesting, we've been doing this. We're not new to this, we're true to this. So now that America is going to burn and this new regime is going to emerge from the ashes, for us, that means that system that oppressed us is falling apart, which means we can do something different now, and we're going to have to. And as Queen Spicy says on the screen, yep, I heard about this. I heard about this too. Scary stuff. We're going to have to start facing our mortality. And I know we don't want to do that. And I know that that's scary and that's crazy. But guess what? We're going to have to face it anyway, whether you want it to or not, whether we want to or not. So I want to start off with some of these videos. Again, I have a label called In-House Meeting. And kind of just to explain to people what I mean, okay, about black people sitting their ass in the house and not being in those streets, but also doing what we're doing right now. We need to be communicating with each other, having conversations with each other, trying to figure out who we know, trying to work through the queer phobia in the black community, because a lot of queer people have a lot of answers and gifts that can literally change the trajectory for all of us. Again, we can look at history. Bayard Rustin, Marsha P. Johnson, Langston Hughes, and others. It didn't just stop then. It's happening right now. So anyway, we're going to take a look at a video, and then I'm going to pause for y'all's responses. Here we go.
Where are the hands-off protests and where are the black people?
The hands-off protests are telling Trump and us hands off of our democracy,
What?
and black people are exactly where they should
There's thousands of people gathered in every state, but I barely see any black people. So how are they where they should
There's
be?
a mix of people on the streets, but black people know they're trying to get lured into the streets so they can call martial law on them or hurt black people.
When has America ever had a history of hurting black people? What's the problem with black people protesting between other people?
Because every time black people fight for human rights, it's a problem. But every time white people do it, nobody seems to get hurt.
But that implies that some people have a privilege. Y'all know that's not true. How do black people know to stay home when everyone else knows to
Because
protest?
here in the United States, over here, we're actually united.
What does that
and white
mean?
women said they got it this time.
There's more than 1,400 hands-off protests across all 50 states in America. How are you all this coordinated? I bet you're getting paid money to show up in buses to protest.
No one's getting paid money to fight for human rights or to care about other people or their own rights.
Millions of peoples are protesting in America with established roles, all united and working together. They're all getting paid. This is illegal. Doesn't make any sense.
It's too late. We'll pick it to the 2025. We need to release Derek Chauvin. This is the worst day.
You got.
Okay, what were your thoughts on that? I just figured I'll put that open as the icebreaker, I guess, in a sense. Queen, Tifa T. Any one of y'all can take
Yeah.
if there's anything to say.
Yeah. There's nothing to say on that one. For me, I mean, yeah.
I feel like it was very self-explanatory.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay. Queen Steve, you have anything you would like to share? Uh-oh.
And the video just summed it up, what everything that this video just said, which is, if we get out there and we protest, we hit boots to the ground, we know what's going to happen. And it goes back in history to show you,
Mhm.
we've had dogs turned on us, water hoses turned on us. Our ancestors have been through this. Black people are doing another resistance, and it is finding joy. But in the midst of finding joy, we must also be vigilant,
Yeah.
because they are snatching people up off the streets, even though they're American citizens. Like a black woman was detained. They are detaining black people as well too. So what you gonna detain your supporters? I would love to see him try to detain his supporters. And this individual right here on this screen, is that Killer Mike? Killer Mike was one of the ones who was out here anti Kamala, right along with Cornel West, Jill Stein as well too. Y'all right along with him, right along with Donald Trump, especially Cornel West and Jill Stein for the pro-Palestine, pro-Gaza movement. This man has said that he is going to make Gaza, what is it, Lake Strip property. Him and Bibi Netanyahu, they have been talking. They have been in the cahoots. We know this.
Yeah,
I
I think
So, in order for us to get out of this situation, the people that got us here in this situation, because you tried this, it goes back to what Al said in the chat, which is them people decided to stay home.
mhm,
Some of y'all voted the couch. Some of y'all sat out here, I'm not going to vote for her. I'm not with her. I'm uncommitted. I'm going to vote for Jill Stein. I'm going to vote for Cornel West. Guess what? Cornel West and Jill Stein are an extension of Donald Trump. And Killer Mike was one of the ones out here too against Kamala.
and a lot of
So
people
for my 92 percenters, you know what to do.
a lot of people they don't like it when you say if you stayed home and didn't vote, or if you voted for Donald Trump, or if you voted third party. A lot of people don't like to hear that when you say that means that was a vote for Donald Trump, because you just all those votes were deciphered away from Kamala Harris. And Trump did not win by that much. So basically, if we would have gotten those votes and people would have actually came out and voted, the ones who stayed home, and it was quite a few black folks that did stay home, which a lot of times they stay home in a lot of elections. Sometimes black folks don't even really come out and vote until it's general elections. Their local elections,
yeah.
sometimes they're not even showing up, which that
Right.
could make the difference in us winning or losing. But they
Right.
don't like it when you say that that's a vote for Donald
Yep, we understood the assignment. 82%, no, 80% to 92%.
Trump.
We understood the assignment this time, black people.
Right.
It's just
Right.
that the odds wasn't stacked in our favor.
Mhm.
The white people will always vote for their own interest. And then when they realize, hey, this hurts me too, you come crying back to us, black people, like Bub said in the beginning. Where are you? Why are y'all not protesting? Our protest was November 4th, 2024. That was our protest. Y'all should have joined right along with us, and we could have been happily and merrily getting the freedoms that we so gratefully deserve. Now you're going to have limited freedoms.
But the
So I'm
protest
seeing a
wasn't
lot of
just.
them cry about
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
losing their 401ks.
Yeah, but
Hold on
that's what I
one
was saying.
minute. I'm coming back.
You good. You good. Good. But that's what I mean uh, as far as our protest, like, and I agree. Everything that Queen State Stevie said, I absolutely 1,000, 1 trillion, fuck a million, fuck a billion, go straight to trillion% agree with. First of all, we didn't start this. We did not start this. And like I said, y'all can't sit up here and say that racism does not exist. Y'all cannot sit up here and say that queerphobia, transphobia does not exist, xenophobia does not exist, because look at the actual manifestations of that. So,
Right.
to her point, yes, y'all voted. Black people showed the fuck up and showed the fuck out like we always do.
Right.
But America spoke. So now that America is crumbling and all those lies that you've been fed, you now got to eat that shit. And you're not the ones that want to eat it, even though a lot of y'all are big backs who voted for Trump and big fronts and shit too. Do you get what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all was so proud and so happy and so, oh, we're gonna sock it to them niggas. We're gonna sock it to them homosexuals. We're gonna sock it to the women. Y'all was so proud. Okay, but Donald Trump.
He can
Oh,
he can vote for Donald Trump back in Mexico, okay? Because that's what
That-
he's going to be
but th-
shipped to.
but that is the problem and the issue, and that's why I say when it comes down to where they ask where the black people at, we have to learn from history and not just outside of us. And this is the conversation that I want to have about blackness because the conversation is about it's in house with us. We can definitely talk about what's going on outside because the outside has infected the inside, but inside of us, no shade. We have to accept the fact that this system has something built within itself that is a fail safe to the fail safe to the fail safe that would never ever rectify the wrongs that it has done, not only just to us, but to people around the world. If you want to get a glimpse of what's possibly to come, y'all can go ahead and see what the fuck is happening over in Uganda right now, especially with queer people, how they're being surveillanced, how anything that talks about their life and their expression in a very objective and non-biased way, in a way that they can't control, they will try to stop it. And if you dare speak on it, you will deal with penalty. So if we bring it back to what was said earlier about activists like myself, the individuals who are willing to stand up against the bullshit, that we're putting our lives on the line. But black people, we got to do something different. Something different. We have to first of all fight with our money. That's the one thing that they really pay attention to. And I ain't talking about, oh, just for one day. We're gonna have to sacrifice. There are people I know right now, and I love them, and they black, but they shop at Walmart and Target still, and I'd be like, bro, what's going on? Oh well, I have to get this here because I can't find it anywhere else. Or if I go somewhere else, I'm gonna have to pay more. Well, either you're gonna have to pay more, or you're gonna have to suffer. Because we're talking about the future here. Now, one thing that I do like about Killer Mike, and again, shout out to Queen Stevie for what she said, because what she said is true. There's information I did not know about. But a broken clock can be right twice a day. Here with Killer Mike, he talks about the way that you can empower your own community. And the only way we're going to do that is to spend wisely. In that way, by spending wisely, we can make an impact. Let white America save their damn country, because this country, this system does not want us. I don't know how many times we have to understand that. There is nothing that we can do to where this system is going to actively accept us unless this system is changed from the inside out. And they will blow this bitch up before they do. But let's take a listen to what Killer Mike has to say real quick.
Two choices. You can attack them through violence, and you can attack them through money. Now, everybody's not afraid to kill each other, but we seem to be afraid to kill a clear and open enemy. So if you ain't gonna take them M16s, them Kalishnikovs, and all this other stuff that you rap about, killing each other with it, if you're not gonna take them to the streets, then at least to my rappers and my entertainers, help these people direct their money in a way. If you're gonna buy a Wingstop, ask if Rick Ross on it first. If you're gonna go to Chick-fil-A, just go to the one in Greenbrier on Camp Creek. But don't allow a dollar of your money to leave your community again into these dogs that ask for your vote, to these dogs that ask for your money, and to these dogs come begging for you to get back into their economic system. Don't you spend a dollar. If you're gonna buy some hair, buy it out of a trunk from a black person.
I agree with that. I kind of want to start off. I agree with that. Find your money and keep it within blackness. There are so many black talented individuals, black architects, black entrepreneurs, just people who are black who also have knowledge of skills and trades in reference to building things and maintaining things. We have to focus more so on that. Now, no shade. If you gay, you eat Chick-fil-A, I don't trust you. No shade. I'm just going to say that. But and then he said Rick Ross, and then Queen Stevie talked about Rick Ross, and I said, oh shit, maybe I should have thought about this damn clip before I put it up. But the main part of it is the fact that I believe we have to focus in our own communities, because no shade, in a lot of black communities, there are other cultures, no shade to them, who come into our communities and make buku amount of money off of us. I know for me in Detroit, every gas station I go to, ain't no black person owning that. Every fucking beauty supply store that I go to, ain't no black person owning that. And then when you have black mom and pop shops or businesses, we walking in there asking for the motherfucking hookup. Can I get a discount? No, nigga, no, you can't. No, this is about supporting blackness. So to his point, if the rappers out there, the people who are influential, the one that the youth are listening to, the one that even white America is low key encapsulated by the culture of, if you are going to speak about using your weapons and shit and busting out 4 5s and got a chopper in the car in the trunk and shit, then you need to do that where it matters. I.e., no shade. Now I'm just saying, just is just a hypothetical, girl. Why is George Zimmerman still walking around?
Right.
If Mook Mook shot Ray Ray ass and you know about it, you and your niggas gonna slide on that nigga and take him the fuck out. It don't matter where he at, church, his mama house, his baby mama house, could be at his goddamn baby's fucking a baby shower. It don't matter. You gonna find that motherfucker. So again, why are they walking around?
So here's the thing. I agree with what I agree with what he said in theory, but we don't ever do that. We say, we've been saying this for we've been saying this since the 40s and 50s. Buy black. Back then it was Negroes or colors, right? But we've been saying this, and we'll beat that dead horse into the ground. Buy this. Don't give them your dollars. Don't do this. Don't do that. And then we still we don't black folks do not want to give up their comforts. They don't want to give up they don't want to give up their adjacent to whiteness. They'll get on these platforms and they'll say all of this stuff. They'll say, don't buy this. Don't, give your black dollars here. Do this, do that. But when it comes down to it, they're going to go to Chick-fil-A. They're going to, even if they're on social media saying, I'm not going to buy, I'm not going to do this, this is going to be the day to stay home. Yeah, there's going to be quite a few that will stay home, but most, stay home or not go shop or buy on the days that they say we're not, don't spend any money today, right? But, it's just like, this last spending, this last one we had of where they say, don't, the day of no spending or whatever. I go to, I get in my car and I'm driving to the gym or I'm going somewhere, whatever. I still see black people, going in and out of these stores. They were still going and buying stuff. They were in these restaurants. That did not stop them. So even with the protests and stuff, where they say, sit your black ass down, don't go out and protest and stuff, like that. With the white folks and the other folks and stuff, like they saying don't do that. But they don't even hold to their own um, races. They're still out there in the stores buying things, and it wasn't just one or two I saw. You can see them going in and out, but then they'll get on these platforms and say, "Don't do this and don't do that." Well, they're not even following their own rules. And that's and what Mike said was correct. That we should do that. The problem is too also we don't really own a lot of stuff. We used to own,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
used to own, with Black
yeah.
Wall Street. Yeah, we had all of that history and stuff. But we don't even own stuff. The Asians, they own all of their
Yep,
stuff.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
The Mexicans own all of their stuff. The whites own all of their stuff. Um, they have all they and then the stuff that we're buying, they're saying, well, go buy from the black shops to buy your hair and your beauty products and all this stuff. But technically, when you get down to it, most of the blacks don't even own those. Very few of those blacks own their restaurants. Very few of their blacks own their the beauty salons and all this other stuff. So they're really still giving the money to the white man. Because they still really are the it turns out it turns out that the Indians and the Asians own a lot of the stuff that we the property and the shops and stuff that we shop in. So yeah, in theory that sounds good, and I wish we could all do that, but technically just most people aren't going to do that because black people talk a good game, but they really don't want to give up their comforts. They don't really want to stop going to Target and Walmart. I mean, hell, Walmart, is owned by them Waltons, right? Okay. It's owned by them Waltons, and they're ripping us off, and they're treating us bad with low wages and all, and everything. And the black people still go in there, because because they're cheaper, whatever. Really, they're not that much cheaper. But they go in there and they're still shopping, even on the day of no shopping. Sit your black ass home and don't go shopping, don't go out to eat and do everything. They were
Hmm.
still going in and out of Walmart. At least
Wow.
down here in the area where I live in,
Right.
and the surrounding area, because I was all the way out in Dallas also, and I still saw people, black folks going in and out of there. So most of them did not adhere to, didn't stick to the plan.
Right. And that's why I wanted to have like more of the in-house conversation because it's like no shade. We're going to have to sacrifice. And if there's one thing that I think that we've missed or that we are lacking in reference to like what our ancestors and those before us did is that they had determination and will to actually do some shit. What's going on, King Deshaun? King Deshaun, if you want to jump up on the live, you definitely can. You can hit that link
What's up?
in the group chat. Yes, and T for T. Tit for titty said, hey. But that's what I feel like. I feel like we need to find ways to invest. That's why communication is important. And yes, for the niggas that's do, and I think that black people have gotten to a place to where we're just so fatigued to where it's like we don't really believe it anymore. We just gave up. We didn't do anything with that energy. We're just giving up. Oh well, I'm not going to vote because they don't change anything anyway. And no shade, the way that this system is set up, that's how it's going to always be. That's why I say like we got to learn from our we got to learn from our history as well. We have to because look at what we did before in the 60s and 70s. Here come the 80s, the war on terror, the war on crime, the war on drugs, all affecting us. And just like Jasmine Garden said, they're looking for a rebrand and they want us, the original sons, the original niggas, the original individuals to start it off because I don't know if it's like a ritualistic type of thing, I don't know, but it's always black people who once we start doing shit, then we are met with resistance because again, when white people protest and march, it don't really be like that. It don't really be kind of popping and lit like that in reference to the police response. But whenever we protest and especially peacefully protest, what are we met with? Militarized police. Those who are dealing with tactical urban warfare. And if you guys watch the rest of Fahrenheit 11/9, which I was going to do part two, but the first part almost fucked my channel up, no shade. Because the motherfuckers who vote for Trump, girl, they kind of own his shit too. So part two or whatever talks about how in a lot of these cities they're starting these no knock, no warrant searches to where they can just run up in your shit. Run up in your shit. You don't know what the fuck is going on. And literally just yesterday, the fucking SWAT was like down the damn street. I'm like, oh shit, I got nervous. I'm like, Lord, is my name on the list? God, they coming for me. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying nothing crazy, but it's just the fact of like, yeah, shit's getting real. Shit's getting scary. We are now living the pages of the history books that we read about in school. This is no longer a drill. This is really it. And yes, no shade. Before we can get the fuck up out of this and see the true enemy for who it is, we have to work through racism. We have to work through queerphobia. And what pisses me the fuck off is the fact that every time that we get close to doing that, here comes the fear. Here comes the fear. It was one thing to not get it when we just had slave journals because the slaves could be lying, right? Then it was another thing to be able to listen to the radio where we can hear the inflections in the voice and hear the emotion and all that other type of shit, but they could be lying and acting as well. Okay, then. So now we have the television, which not only can you hear the shit, you can see the shit. But oh, they must be acting, they must be lying, this all must be fake. And now we're living in the information age where motherfuckers are showing niggas getting their head blown off, all type of undocumented reality that's scary that we can see in the blink of an eye, especially on sites like X and stuff like that, to where motherfuckers still don't understand it. Like you can bring the information to them all day long, but now that we're in the fuck around and find out, everybody's so quiet. Everybody quiet. Don't
Oh
nobody
yeah,
want to say nothing.
especially the black conservatives.
Oh,
Byron Donalds, Tim Scott from my city of South Carolina, and now this other one that is running for some sort, I think, governor in one of the states. I posted it in my stories on Instagram. Why are y'all quiet? Why are all the black conservatives quiet now?
as
Rob
fuck.
Smith, you've been mighty quiet, but you make videos every once in a while. But y'all are seeing what's going on. when it hits
Well,
close to home to you, you don't have anything to say about it. But I'm seeing y'all out here crying to the Trump voters that voted for him. How those eggs taste now, bitch? How those eggs taste now? Y'all voted for this. Now let's see if your eggs go down now. Let's see if your price of gas go down now. And
one,
it was a billionaire. A millionaire was out here crying, literally, because he lost money. You didn't think the tariffs were going to impact you too? You didn't think that? None of y'all thought that?
see, beforehand,
See, it's
they,
important that you read and do your research
yes, that part.
before you nominate anybody for president. This man has had six failed businesses. Six failed
Mm,
businesses. And now the
six.
United States of America is now his seventh failed business. He is running horribly. This is horribly. We are now in a trade war with China. China said, okay, bitch, I got your one up.
And
Let
not
me go
only that,
ahead and put these tariffs on here.
a trade war can actually lead to a real fucking war. And again, for the people who so quiet, y'all. This was y'all, girl. Y'all was in our face telling us how we was fear mongering and shit, girl. This was y'all, girl. When Trump ass became president, y'all was like this, girl. Again,
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
girl, that was all y'all the entire time. And now we're here, and y'all quiet. Because
And,
again, it's red pill platforms that's really making me laugh nowadays. No shade, but go ahead, Queen, and then you can go next. T for T. Sorry.
So here's the issue with this too is uh, most most Americans who voted, they knew that Donald Trump was a failure. They didn't care. They voted for him anyway. They voted for him.
Mm.
They knew he had six, seven failed businesses. They knew,
Mm-hmm.
they knew everything that came out of his mouth, grabbed by the pussy,
Mm.
and
Right.
they, they knew his ties to Russia. They even in his the last election, he leaked information to Russia, right? So they knew
Mm-hmm.
those ones who voted for him and then went and voted for him again, which was the majority of white folks. And this time they pulled some of the Democratic coalition, which was the black folks and the Hispanics, um, over to that area also. I mean, over to that party also. They knew this, so they can't cry ignorance, you know.
Right.
And they went and voted for it anyway. So to me, they can say the price of eggs, or they can keep saying that, and they can keep saying that. It was never the economy, and it hasn't been the economy for I'm going to say 30, 40 years. The way white folks, the way they go and vote for the Republicans, no matter who that Republican is for that Republican Party, no matter what that Republican has done, no matter their criminal history, no matter their sexual rapist history, they still went out and voted for this person. So there's no way that you can tell me that that this was not due to racism and misogyny, because they immediately again, like they did last time when Kamala was running, they immediately went in on the sexist, misogynistic jokes and attacks. They went in on her black skin, trying to other her, and Trump, it came out of his mouth, trying to other her as something other than a black woman, and they intentionally did that, because they know there's enough weak-minded voters out there who they can manipulate, to drag them over to it, because they know that they're misogynistic. They know that that there's people out there that are misogynistic and sexist. The racists, the ones with the queer transphobia. That's like how they used queers and trans in this election to demonize them, and they knew that they could bring that in with their religious aspects, so they knew how to draw these people over to their party, and they went after the uneducated and the weak. Not all of them, but a lot of them were. uneducated and weak-minded, and
Yeah.
very easily persuaded and swayed, and then that's how they get them, and that's how they turn these people into their, they're the leaders, and they're it's like a cult, it's just like a big old cult.
Yeah, I
Create
agree.
this, and it's sad that
Remember what I said about the occult and tapping into the occult and how Jim Jones and Koresh brainwashed those people into believing everything that they said. At the end of the day, that's how cult leaders operate. And I wish that the mainstream news outlets would call it for what it is, because it is a cult. When the pandemic was going on in 2020, like when Donald Trump was hospitalized and then he got out, whether he had some sort of limousine or whatever drive by, and he out there, and people like, oh, I died for Trump. Listen, they already got a statue of this man. You're uplifting this man and treating him as if he is a king, a monarch, or a deity. And I know that leaving a cult can be very, very difficult. So I was reading this article earlier today that's telling people, like, you got to understand the situation, decide when to leave. Don't just sit there and wait when the fire gets even hotter than it already is.
Because you may not have a chance to get out
When
then when
you've
that happens.
seen things, another one is Yahweh ben Yahweh. And I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about Yahweh ben Yahweh.
I think so.
He was a
I think
crook
so.
and a swindler just like Donald Trump.
Mm, mm, mm.
Uh-huh. And that's one of the survivors who survived him came out and spoke out against him. He's no longer living. But that's how cults work. And but I think a lot of us are scared to tap into the occult. A lot of people are scared. They don't know what that is. They don't know what a cult mindset or a cult mentality is. You got to create and seek a landing pad. Definitely leave and recover and rebuild. The older woman who was in when the what happened January 6th, she came out and she came to her senses. Some of these people are waking up and coming to their senses. So guess who's a DEI now? Because I see that's been y'all's whole attack. Oh, the woke, the radical Marxist, leftist, communist. Uh, Look who's woke now. Look who's waking up because you're stealing their 401k plans. And it's really going to piss people off when they find out that you're putting tariffs. It was revealed today that this man is talking about putting tariffs on prescription drugs, pharmaceutical companies. That's also in my stories. Oh, yeah, we're on your ass, Trump. And
so
we know everything that you're doing.
Hold on, before
Everything. Every
y'all go
minute
for
of
it,
it.
before y'all go for it, I want to bring someone else in. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to welcome to the show. This is gonna be so corny, but I'm using this soundboard. Y'all ready? Here we go. Welcome to the show, King the show. That was so corny of me. Oh my god. Dun, 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 dun. What's going on, Deshaun? You there? Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
hey, Deshaun.
Hello.
Yes.
Deshaun. I think he's getting his audio together. We'll give him a minute. But I just wanted to bring him into the conversation because I ain't want him sitting in back for too long. But go ahead, T for T, and then afterwards we gonna get into the next video.
So do y'all know what a pathocracy is? Have y'all heard of a pathocracy?
I haven't. Please share.
Okay, so it's a system of government and organization structure in which individuals with personality disorders, particularly those characterized by a lack of empathy and a propensity for manipulation, hold power and influence. It often leads to governance that prioritizes the interests and desires of a few at the expense of the wider population. In such systems, decisions may be driven more by the personal needs of the leaders rather than by the common good. And that to me, that's Trump. He's mentally ill. Like I said before, he is a malignant,
Oh,
overt,
shit.
covert narcissist.
Yeah.
Just like Hitler was. And just like a lot of our Mussolini, Kim Jong Un and Il and all of them, all of those dictator stuff. He's following their play. He's following their playbook,
Yeah.
and basically they were under like a pathocracy rule, and then that's exactly what what we basically are in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. It's again, these are scary times, y'all. When the times where we were trying to educate and trying to really get the information out there, and again have these quote unquote scary conversations that will not just end in one fucking conversation. Like, this is not gonna solve blackness with this panel alone. Like, we have to continuously have this with other black people and keep this going, because now we're in it. We're in it. This is no you pinching yourself and you waking up out this shit. No, we are in this. You are in it. I am in it. Your children is in it. And for the people that are waking up, I'm grateful that y'all are waking up. But at the same time, there is also something known as repercussions to your actions. So with that being said, yes, if January 6th could happen and it was just those white people, you telling me the rest of the people who waking up ain't gonna be able to do the same thing? And maybe, who knows, maybe the country will change because they don't shoot y'all. They always shoot us.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately,
you can't get mad at black people sitting there saying that they don't want to march, or where the black people at. No, there's a history and a pathology of this as well, and we got to change that, because again, we are all. When you went back to what you were saying, Tifa T, as far as black people having to go without comforts, it's going to be difficult for black people to do that, because again, we've grown up not really having shit. And if you look at like some of the training infomercial or training commercial videos in the fucking 50s and 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, about now that black people got money and they working their way in the middle class, now this is a new demographic to where now we can go ahead and we can make money off of them, and we got to sell them the best because they ain't never had shit. Don't you sell no nigga no bullshit. You better just give him the best, because we've that mindset was placed on us and we've accepted that. Which is why, again, how can we sit up here and rock Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Prada, all of these different brands who have multiple times throughout history proven to us how they really feel about us? Like, black people, we gonna have to do
And I'm
something
a
different.
fashion girl. I don't shop at none of those brands.
Because when you're
None
really
of them.
truly
They
into
don't want to shop
fashion,
in there.
yeah, but when you're truly into your fashion, into your creative energy, it don't matter what the hell you wear. You're gonna wear the hell out of it. It's not gonna wear you. Some people gotta have the Gucci on because it wears on them.
Exactly.
All these things on them, and it's about, again, validation. But like Tifa T said, validation where? To that adjacent whiteness. Because I have on Gucci and Louis, I am separate from those niggas. Just look, whether you a house nigga or a field nigga, you's a nigga. And this system created that. So again, we got to do something different. But Deshaun, hopefully you got your microphone situation together. What are your thoughts, Deshaun? Oh Lord, good Lord, oh my Lord. We gotta wait because I don't know what's going on with Deshaun. I put the T.S. Madison clip up one more time, and then by that time, if you good, we'll get your thoughts. If not, we're gonna continue with the video. Wait, you good, Deshaun? Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, I can't hear nothing. All right, we're gonna let T.S. Madison sing this real quick. No weapon
formed against me shall prosper. Oh, it won't work.
No weapon
formed against me. Give me that ad lib again.
No weapon.
One more time.
No weapon.
One more time.
No weapon.
no weapon. Okay, I guess this. Okay, we got Deshaun back. Let's see, Deshaun, you there? 1, 2, 3. Deshaun, hello, Deshaun. Oh Lord, Trump done grabbed his microphone. Jesus. Oh, we got the camera. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. No, we can't hear you, Deshaun. Go to your settings. See if you can click on settings. Go to audio, and where it says mic, see whatever microphone you have plugged in and use that and see if that does anything. Oh. No weapon. No weapon. No weapon formed against you, Deshaun, will prosper. Okay? He said, hold on. He said, he said, y'all not about to have me looking like this on the damn live.
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
He over there cracking up. He's sound working.
Don't worry. Okay, what we'll do is while he doing that, we're gonna continue with the show. And when when he come in, he come in. Okay, no shade. Shout out to him. Shout out to the 9 people that are watching.
Is Harold coming in? Because I just saw him out. I just saw him out there. Is he coming in?
No, he said he gonna be listening.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Come on, Sean, we back. And we got Keon in the building. What's going on, Keon? Keon, if you would like to join the panel, go ahead and hit that link in the group chat if you want to. If not, you cool. We waiting on Deshaun to get his stuff together. I'm just so proud he got a camera. Baby, he got a camera. I'm so happy. Okay? Over there look like he about to get ready to praise dance in the dark with all them damn galactic colors and shit swirling on the wall and stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead on with the video and we will get Deshaun's point. Let's go ahead and get this together. Let's see.
Say it plain as day. No confusion. We are not going out there. Not this time. We are not going out there.
We need to talk about this. I've seen several videos like this, and honestly, they're right. They've been carrying this fight against white Christian nationalism and white supremacy, state violence for generations, while people like me show up when it's convenient and then just fade back into comfort. Listen, if you're like me, this is your moment to step up, to show up in ways that don't just feel good, but actually shift power. Because white Christian nationalism isn't their fight to fix, it's ours to dismantle. I'm a pastor, and part of my job is to speak truth to power, so here's the truth. White supremacy thrives when white people stay comfortable. It grows when white people say, I support you, but don't actually put their voices, their resources, and their bodies on the line. April 5th is your chance to show up, but it doesn't stop there. Protests are the starting point, not the whole fight. Real solidarity means committing to the work every day, dismantling white supremacy in our communities, pushing back against Christian nationalism in our churches, and refusing to let marginalized people carry this burden alone. It's time to step up, not just for the day, but for the long haul. It's time for white folks to step in and do the damn work.
Right.
I just wanted to share that as well.
Right.
Thoughts?
Right. Yeah. Right. It's time. Here's another thing with this. I do agree that it wasn't the time for all of us black folks to be out there. You know, some of us, we're going to go out there, we're going to go out there and protest. We protest for different reasons,
Right.
And like myself, like what I had told y'all, I was going out there, not, to fight, to also protest for the democracy, because they could have, even then, they could have brought in they, with all the people that were out there processing, the police were out there. They could have turned them on us if they wanted to, or whatever. But and it's like you say, they usually wait when it's the black folks is out there. They'll have these infiltrates in there, people who are infiltrating the protests, pretending like like they're with the protests and they're down for the cause, and they're really out there to cause trouble. Those are going to be in any protest. But when I went out there, I was also filming for for the YouTube channel, so we can broadcast this across our channels. But also, I was out there protesting also for the queers and the trans, also for our democracy, but I was also protesting for the queers and trans, and then this is where I differ with
Yes.
this is where I differ with our our heterosexual black community, because
Yeah.
the trans and the queers, we always go out there we're out there when a heterosexual black person is shot and
Come on, in house.
shot and
Mm-hmm.
killed. A trans is beaten, raped, or killed. You know, not trans, but a heterosexual woman is raped or beaten, or whatever by the police, or by the something happens to them by the government or the judiciary. Then black folks, they will go out and they'll protest for that. And we're right out there with them. Our black bodies are on the line. Okay, we're out there with the black community, um, fighting for the civil liberties and stuff. And there's always some white people there, and it has been like that in history. There's always been some white people, Jewish, other people of color that has also came and protested and fought with us. So it is not just it's not just
Yeah.
white people are not showing up, because most of them don't. But there's always a
Mm,
percentage of white people that do go out there and
right.
fight for our rights, just like they helped us, escape slavery and all of that type of stuff. It wasn't just black folks who did that. It was a majority of black folks, but we still had white people and Jewish people. We still had their help to help us escape, through the undergrounds and all of this other type of stuff. But what ticks my bubble is with my own people is they want us to not, sit our black ass down and don't go out there and protest with the white folks or for other causes or whatever. And then we're always with them when something happens to the heterosexual black community. We're always with them. But when something happens with the trans community,
Right.
or a beating, a stabbing, a rape, or a queer gets beaten, stabbed, raped, or whatever, that they don't come out for us. There's a there
Right.
they it's probably somewhere, I'm gonna say it's probably somewhere like about maybe 1% of them that are ever on our side, when
Mm,
it comes to us, and we are black. Now, granted, when black queers are out there protesting for stuff that's happened to them, and black trans are out there protesting, the white community, the white gay community, the white queer trans gay community, they don't come out. Very few of them come out for us either. It's like the trans and the queers are always on the black trans and queers, we're always on our own when it comes to us fighting for our civil liberties, our rights, you
right.
know. And so the black hats, they speak a good game, keep your black ass home, don't go shopping, don't go do this, do this, do this, do this instead. But when it comes to us, they do not come out and they don't protect us. They don't stand with us. And we can
Right.
see a lot of this in
Right.
the comments when we're watching other people's channels and their videos and stuff. You can see the hatred, the vitriol
Yeah.
that it ain't just, and it's just not black men, it's also the black women too, even though a lot of black women have our backs and we have their backs too, but it's a whole lot of them that do not, or on the surface they'll pretend like that they're with us, but then when we really need them, they really turn their backs on us. When it comes to us,
Right.
them voting for our legislation or helping us go out there and protest in these streets, those comments are hateful. And it's just, they're not there. But we're still going to always be there for our black community because we are black. And that's where the question comes in. Are we black first or are we queer first? Or
Mm,
whatever. And I don't
should
separate,
just be human, but
yeah,
hey.
I don't separate any aspect or part of who I am. I'm black queer, or I can be queer black. I can be black queer a man. I can be a man queer black. I'm all of that. I'm not separated, just because the color of my skin is black. And when I get out there, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to protest. I'm going to write to Congress. I'm going to write my Congress. I'm going to do all of that type of stuff. I'm going to not go and buy on the days that they say, whatever. I'm going to do all of those things, whatever. But we need them to start coming and stepping up for us black, gays, queers, trans,
Yeah.
non-binary, whatever you want
Yes.
to label us. Y'all have to start stepping up and coming out for us because we come out for y'all. So don't tell me don't go out there and protest with the other minorities and the other whites that are out there when you're not coming and protesting and standing up for me.
Agreed.
And when I go out there, I'm doing it for democracy, but I'm doing it for I'm out there for everybody, even if my body is on the line. I'm doing it for my son. I'm doing it for my mother and my relatives and my friends. I'm doing it for everybody. And the time is going to come. Yeah, we stay home now, but the time is going to come where we are going to have to get
Child,
out.
give me that curl line over there.
Because it's not going to stop them from coming to, when Trump puts all of this into action, he can send them out there on the street and mow down the white folks and the protesters and stuff, like that too. But after he mows down them, guess what? He's going to come and mow down you in your house while you're watching TV, and he's going to knock down your door. So your door is not going to protect you. Your house is not going to protect you because eventually they're coming for all of us.
Deshaun, you got your audio together? Because I want to make sure that we get Deshaun up in here. Deshaun, if you got to keep working on it, that's cool because we're gonna be here for a little bit. But I agree with you, T for T. I really do. That's why I'm glad that now that I'm looking at it, even though I am showing clips about black people or talking about black people resting and white people picking up more of the mantle, I know for a fact that with this being an in-house black conversation, it's not going to be just queer people talking about this. It's going to be heterosexual black people talking about it. But since we're having in-house conversations, some of that toxic adjacent bullshit of the oppressor has now entered into the black community. And like you said, y'all want us to stand with all of black people when all of black people are not willing to stand with us. Y'all want to benefit from us. There are people in the black community who are literally Oreos. They have this suppressor energy on the inside, but just happen to be black, who are gatekeepers as well, who follow that same type of energy, that same type of vibration that fucks all of us up. So yes, with it being in-house, again, yes, we're going to rest and a lot of healing, which means that we're going to have to call shit out. We're going to have to call an ace a ace and a spade. And going back to what you were saying about, oh, am I black or am I gay? Which one is first? A wise mystic said, when it came down to the whole thing about what came first, the chicken or the egg, the wise mystic said, bitch, I don't give a fuck what came first. It came. It don't matter what came first. It's here. So we have to deal with what's here. And I am black and I am gay, or I am gay and I am black, however you want to put it. I'm that all the time at the same time. It is a amalgamation. It is a mix. There's no one or the other. I am all these things. Right. And what's going to be so funny is that, again, let's use again hypothetically the white people who are standing up, those who voted for Trump, who now see the truth and are putting their white privilege to work, and even that white privilege gets mowed the fuck down. When it comes down to us getting mowed down, I don't want to hear shit about old Bub's the guy. We need to go ahead and drop everything and come together. No. Because every time disaster comes together, that's when everybody wants to work and everybody wants to drop shit. But if we survive the disaster, we ain't even learned nothing going through it, to where now we're going back to our regularly scheduled program. I mean, look at what happened with 9/11. For the longest time, black people and white people have dealing with each other and shit. But when that shit happened, even though another group of people were unfortunately the new niggas, unfortunately, black and white people was cool as shit. Motherfuckers that was flying and coach get bumped up to first class. Yeah, come sit by me. All type of shit. Use their white privilege. He's fine. You can go back in their asshole. You know what I'm saying? Go sit in the back. I want him next to me. Yes, come on, Jamal. Sit next to me. But then after a while, we went back to our regularly scheduled programming. And then you getting mad at us for trying to educate the youth on how to be better than us. And y'all stop that. Y'all want to stop critical race theory because now it gets to look at the one group of people that is supposed to be quote unquote exempt, which is white people. But now that that's happening, you don't want your white children to feel guilt. Your white children's guilt is more important than the actual experiences of black children that were fucking slaves who had to pick cotton shit, or children who were fucking slaves who ended up in the foster care system because the system also fucked up their family. And we're always at the receiving end of the bullshit. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm just tired of it. I don't know what happened to Queen Steve. I don't know what's going on. But let's continue with the video. This is the last video, y'all. And I just want to put this up here because this white woman with this big ass forehead went to hell in about how a lot of the white supremacist history is nothing but death and destruction. And I mean, if that was my shit, I would feel some type of damn way too. Shit, let's take a listen.
History is teaching white Americans how white slave owners raped, beat, humiliated, mutilated, murdered, and cannibalized their slaves. Accurate history is teaching that George Washington's false teeth were made out of his slaves' teeth. Accurate history is teaching that Abraham Lincoln may have said some words and signed some shit, but he did not physically do anything to free the slaves. The white abolitionists also often get almost total credit for freeing the slaves. I bet you've never even asked yourself what the slaves were doing to free themselves, and the answer to that is most of the fucking work, including giving the ultimatum of war. But then we get a bunch of white people mad that their kids might feel guilty if we teach real history. It's not about your white child's feelings. Teaching accurate history isn't about white people's feelings, but that does sound like something that someone who's only ever been taught a white glorifying version of history would counter with. Ask why we ever felt like we needed to curate a false version of what white people did and did not do to black people to begin with. And then ask yourself why white-ass politicians are verbally attacking real history by calling it slurs, which is, by default, also the act of calling black people slurs.
Formed against me shall prosper. Oh, it won't work. No weapon.
Fabulous. Beautiful. Abso-damn-lutely. And we need
I'm over
more
here
of
talking.
that.
I'm muted. My mic muted the whole time. I'm over here talking. Like,
We
Lord.
need more of that.
No, but what I was saying is that, look, no shade, no weapon. Okay, shout out to Mother Maddie for that because that is the truth. But again, the reason why I showed these clips and using whiteness as the conversation for in-house conversation is because, again, it's some of that energy in the house. I'm looking at black churches because y'all subscribe to a European religion that's not even yours. But meanwhile, I can get on these platforms and spew homophobic scriptures at queer people,
Right.
and at trans people, and at women, and at illegal immigrants, but yet somehow forgot about how your non-fupa having ass is in there, how your big wide back ass is in there. And this is the part that's going to become very dangerous because you can only do something to people for so fucking long. Like, come the fuck on. Come on. So if you ask me, what do we need to do within the community as black people? First of all, doing what we're doing now, talking. Our ancestors in slavery and during the civil rights movement, they all met in churches back when churches had honor and integrity and cared about the people. Not before it became capitalistic and all about prosperity at the people's expense. But they came together, they talked, they had conversations. I would love to be able to have these panels in person. Yes, it's cool to march and it's cool to protest because, again, you connect with other people who connect with you. But at the same time, y'all need to be meeting up with these people inside of churches, inside of classrooms, inside of auditoriums, gymnasiums, whatever you can, basements. We need to start having these conversations and having these conversations more regular and actually collabing with each other, which means that, okay, on this week we doing it on my channel. Next week we got T for T's. Next week we got Queen Stevie's. Next week we at so and so's. Like, we have to do that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm loving myself. I'm getting myself together because I want to be able to help create that safe space. And the fact that I've met people like Tifa T, like Queen Stevie, like Deshaun, like Keon, shout out to him, a new supporter, like all these people, Queen Spicy. The fact that I'm meeting all of y'all, it lets me know that there can be change. And even though everything is scary right the fuck now, yes, it's scary as fuck, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's why you gotta love yourself, because fear is coming, and I'm talking about the ultimate fear. That's why when I had put that Thriller shit in my past lives, now that I listen to that song as an adult, it low-key describes what the fuck is happening. Not in the realm of zombies, but in the realm of there is going to be such a great fear that's going to have your ass frozen. And if you do not submit to that fear will make you submit to it. Back then, during the 2009, 2010, there were all these videos circulating around the web, and I was telling y'all about this in my past lives. As far as there were tanks and military vehicles being transported all around the country, that these FEMA concentration camps were being erected, that there were military and law enforcement that were upping their shit to be able to become more tactical in their warfare. That's not all preparation for the quote unquote terrorists outside of us or outside of this country. This is for the individuals who are not going to submit. And like Tifa T said, this shit has been happening for a very long time. Again, go watch on Netflix right now. Go watch if it's still on there, called The Family. It's about like 5-6 episodes. It talks about how all this stuff was concocted and created behind the door, behind the scenes, and even using organized religion as a fact of that. Going around saying that Jesus. Oh, mute yourself real quick, Deshaun, because you got feedback real quick, but we can hear you. Thank God we can hear you. But saying Jesus, we're going to preach prosperity in Jesus. Yeah, Jesus went before kings and warlords and all these other type of people and transformed them. They didn't transform these people with love, with great love have I drawn thee. No, it was the fact of money, the fact that we can use you as a puppet, the fact that you can be used for the system. And imagine being used by a system that has unlimited access and allowing you to be able to take some of the control some fucking times. Which is why with Donald Trump asked, I'm not surprised. He is the perfect puppet. He can't read. He got all these bankruptcies. He can't keep his wife happy even if you pay for him. And he low-key subconscious wants to smash his own daughter. So y'all have Barabbas in the presidency. And y'all mad because Barabbas shit is happening. So again, for the black people that actually want to work through some shit, yes, just like how white people, by them saving this country, the only way they're going to be able to save this country is they're going to have to face racism, even though their privilege does not want them to. It's about queerphobia and the black community. Until black people can come together, the black community and its fucking intersections can come together, we have to do some active healing. And if you ain't ready to actively heal, go sit your ass down or you're going to catch this motherfucking smoke. Now, Deshaun, do you have anything you would like to say? Because I know you've been wanting to talk for a minute.
Well, I already predicted this.
Wait, before you predict it, let me just do this real quick. I just want to do that real quick. Go ahead.
I already predicted this. This was already going to happen. This was already going to be planned. You know what I mean? This was all according. This was all set in place for a one world government. That's all it is. It's all set in place for one world government. Divide and conquer. That's already been set in place thanks to Trump. But remember, the one world government, those people that's in power have already wanted divide and conquer any ways that was going to be set in place that Trump was going to actually allow. So thanks to him. Also, the tariffs, yes. I got stuff on Temu that's actually going to be a hold because of the tariffs that he did. And also, I got a manager. He was supposed to get his sword. He can't get his sword now because he got to charge double money because of what Trump is doing with the tariff shit that's over in China. So everything he's doing is he's fucking up this country, and he's going to keep all that money for himself. All the Social Security and everything else, the DEI, all that other shit that he's doing away. He's trying to do it away, bring back segregation, and take all the money with it, including Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is running amok too, but The thing is, where's Elon Musk at? Even Donald Trump don't even want Elon Musk around him. You know what I mean? There's a whole
Oh,
lot of
child, you didn't hear? They got a divorce. They got a divorce. They're divorced. That's why you ain't seeing Elon around there no more.
see what happened to their close
Wait.
relationship.
You said that Elania and motherfucking Donald
Elon
Trump.
got a divorce, and then Peter Navarro. They was just going. Him and the tariff side. Peter Navarro was going back and forth. Was it yesterday? Elon Musk and Peter Navarro. They didn't say a name. Put a name on it, Elon. You running around here without data and shit. Put a name on it.
Hold on 1 second.
And we know why Trump wouldn't
Formed against me shall prosper. Oh, it won't work.
I'm gonna have to make that clip shorter.
No weapon.
No weapon. I just had to put that
No
Queen Stevie. I'm
weapon.
sorry. Go ahead.
And also why didn't you put any tariffs on Russia? Why did you put a tariff on Russia? You so busy going at China. China is striking back at your ass. But why did you put a tariff on Russia? We know why. Because you don't want to let down your daddy Vladdy. You don't want to let down daddy Vladdy. Because your ass can wind up falling from a third story window.
Right.
Or either worse. You know exactly why you didn't want to put a tariff on Russia.
Because he's
See, you
afraid
like to go
about
out here and bully people. He likes to go out here and bully people. You about to be 79 damn years old and you out here bullying people. We're not afraid of you.
That's because he's Putin. He's Putin.
Somebody got an echo. Deshaun, I think you got an echo. I'm sorry.
Do you hear it? There's no echo, right?
Go ahead.
Where's the echo?
It's gone.
I think. Okay, I just want to be sure because I want to make sure I can hear you. T. My bad. Go ahead.
So what I want to know, since we are not going to protest with the whites and the other people, if we're not going to get out in them streets, what is the plan? I mean, right now, like I said, it's okay to stay home, but eventually we're going to have to do something. So what is the plan? What is the strategy? Other than line dancing and sitting home eating barbecue, with high cholesterol, with our arteries clogged and swollen ankles, what what is the strategy and the plan for us black folks? Because we're going to have to do something soon. Just like with that article I read, January the 20th, I mean, not January, April the 20th is coming up on us. Not saying that's going to happen, but if it does, what is the plan for the black folks? What are we going to do? Because, because it's not that many of us to take on the United States government. We're going to need those white allies and the other people of color. We're going to need their allyship to and mobilize with us in order so we can be safe and protected. So we're going to have to merge or do something here soon, eventually. And then sitting at home is not going to cut it. So what is the plan and what is the strategy? I mean, I've seen the videos of where we're line dancing, and we're doing all of that. That's fun, that's fine, it's sending a message. And that's one way to protest also. Not showing up, is one way to protest, but eventually we're going to have to do something different. Just like you said, Bubs, there's got to be something different than even just protesting, because that helps also. But we're going to have some new ideas, some new strategies and stuff, from these younger generations, and we can still rely on some stuff from our ancestors, but we're going to have to get some new ideas and strategies, for our own survival. And it's not going to be line dancing and barbecuing and sitting on the couch, watching it from your door, from your window. It's fine for right now, but that's not going to cut it here in another few weeks to a few months. It's going to be so bad that we're going to have to do something.
Right. Right. Well, one thing that I guess I will say first, and then everybody else can go afterwards. Is to your point, yes. I think we should in this moment of rest and relaxation, which means that we know what is about to go. So since we know and we've been down this road multiple times, we shouldn't react the same way we did the first time. Like the first time was, oh my God. The second time was, oh no. This is like the seventh, eighth time. Now we should be just be like, you know, okay, we know what's going on. But at the same time, I'd rather have black people right now not just resting but dancing. Dance some of that stress off of you. The fact that black people out there and the fact that it's heterosexual black people, gay black people, trans people, all types of black people coming together with their different looks. All they need in common is their damn fan and stepping in motion and being on beat. So we definitely need more of that. But one thing that I think that we can do right now, especially in the black community, is that we need to start working on the neighbor and hood again, which means that even I can do this. Again, all of us can do this. We all have room for improvement. When we start seeing black people, don't mean mug them, say what's up. It can start off very small as far as acknowledging other black people when you see them.
Yeah.
Standing in the gap for other black people. That also means getting to know your neighbor. That also means getting out in the neighborhood and start collaborating with other people in the community. There are people out here that's been dying, been trying so hard to get things together. Like for example, me. I live in Detroit. I was trying to be a part of this LGBT organization in Detroit that was primarily black. But no shade. Even in certain organizations, and this is not me throwing digs at them, this is just my own personal experience of what I've seen. But there can also be little accents of adjacent to whiteness, even in those spaces. So again, it's about like finding people who are like-minded with you, who are different but willing to be open-minded and learning, like you said, T for T. As far as eventually we're going to have to collaborate with each other. So first of all, start getting into your neighborhoods more, and that also means sticking up for people who also are quote unquote immigrants. Because not everybody who is Latino voted for Trump, even though there was some people, girl, who got bowled up in the motherfucking camera with their face, they ain't blinking nothing, girl, talking about this shit.
Oh my God.
They doing all that, but there are some people who didn't vote for that who are scared. So that also means if you see ICE, learn a word in Spanish that says ICE. Look out for your neighbor. Look out for them. Because again, once they round them up, they're not going to be done. They're coming for you. So
Yeah.
work on neighborhood. Secondly, black people, we gonna have to learn a way to be able to find out how to do self defense. No shade. There needs to be classes across the fucking country where black people, especially black women and black youth, need to learn how to defend themselves. I don't give a fuck. There are people right now in these red pill spaces and these manosphere spaces, girl, talking about, oh, a woman, well, I'm strong, physiologically, I can beat a woman's ass.
BMU.
You know what I'm saying? All that type of shit. But I don't give a fuck how big you are. If you have balls, you're done, my nigga. You flick the balls a little bit, you on the floor. So imagine if a motherfucker came over there and started mariachi dancing, talking about some no way.
Formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Shaya. Oh, Mashanya. Oh, I feel a Shakani up in here. Mashandaba.
Hell no, in no way. Ain't never been a representative for me, so speak for you, my brother.
Honey, I represent all the men here. Anyway.
Okay, honey, I represent all the men here. Cause see, my men. So it's kind of like, again, learn self-defense. If you have a good record, get you a firearm. Get you a firearm. If you don't, I need you to go to the Family Dollar Tree, get you a pack of butcher knives. They're $1.75 now because they're going up on that. We done skipped the 50. We went from 125 to 175. Fuck the 50. So now we doing that. Get you a damn 2 packs of damn knives and shit. and have two of them bitches in your purse and turn into Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, do whatever you have to do to survive the motherfucking encounter on these people in case they try you. And then for these other niggas, for the niggas who say that they're real men, for the niggas who say that they're motherfucking, the definition of a man and nobody better not fuck with me, whatever. If that is the case, then I need for y'all as individuals who are these real men who back in the day, whenever there were problems in the neighborhood, these people in the neighborhood knew exactly who the fuck to go to be able to resolve that problem. I need for y'all niggas to go out in the motherfucking streets with these niggas out here that's doing all this gang banging shit out of hurt and pain that y'all created. Because again, the fags ain't having the children. I need for y'all to go out there and rectify that. Start with your own community. Before we start talking about what white people doing, we know what white people gonna do. That's what they've been doing. That's their MO. Now that MO has found this way over here in this shit. So now we gotta figure out what we're gonna do. So I suggest those ideas. Let me get the comments real quick, and then I want to get y'all's perspectives real quick. Keon says, agreed. They want our working hands only when they are the ones affected in the bullshit. Had some circumstances been targeting only us and our wallets, most of them would be sitting back with their, oh well. Ooh. Harold says, not the false teeth being made out of the teeth of slaves. That's a different level of deranged. Hell yeah, it puts the lotion on its skin as shit. They love to act like the days of whips, lynchings, and hardcore segregation was eons ago, so that's easy to forget. He also says Vance two-faced as well. Okay, he's been on record multiple times saying that he hates the guy. Now all of a sudden he's one of his number one millions. A tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. King Hannibal says the politics of this country won't change until money is removed from elections and politics. Agreed. There's a lot of lobbying going on. A valid third party is needed. I've been saying this because Democrats and Republicans are bought by the 1%. That's why I kept telling us we got to also do our work to realize that the system is already bought and paid for, and it will never be used against us. We'll never. It will never be beneficial to us. It will always be used against us. So again, if we were to take our money, again, black people, we fucking Target up, is we not? Black people, we fucking Walmart up, is we not? Even though there's still some people going there, there's still millions of dollars being lost. So if black people got that money and we are one of the biggest spenders in this fucking country, then yeah, maybe we need to take our money and put it somewhere. Or if these motherfuckers are putting money into politics and election and ain't nobody gonna change it, well, we do the same thing in reference to a third party being able to put what we desire as the actual people of America, you know what I'm saying? To see if that will work. Because I'm all for trying to see if it will work in the system, but there's a part of me believing that the system don't give a fuck and it ain't gonna do nothing. King Hannibal says, why would I stick up for illegal immigrants? That's crazy. I mean, if those illegal immigrants are coming over here trying to better themselves and are doing what needs to be done and to be an upright citizen, even though they're legally not one, they're not harming anyone, they're not harming themselves. I don't have a problem with it, no shade. Two more comments and we're gonna get to y'all perspective. We're gonna start with Queen Stevie first. Agreed on both points. I don't have all the answers, but there does need to be some tangible solutions when we bring up the problems we see. Gotta get creative out here and listen to one another. Exactly. That's why I appreciate T for T, Deshaun, and Queen Stevie being up here because I don't know everything. We all learning. Maybe craft our own miniature town halls in our neighborhoods. Yes, we got to just do something. That's all I'm saying. We got to do something. I don't have all the answers, but continue to talk to other black people. Uplift blackness. When you see another black man, say, hey, what's going on? Unless they give you a reason not to. Now, some of these other niggas who voted for Trump, the ones that's boldly saying that shit, y'all get the smoke. But everybody else that is about humanity, okay, we can see what's going on. But Queen Stevie, what are your thoughts?
My first thought is Stephen A. Smith is a damn fool if he thinks that somebody is going to vote for him. His ass is running for president. And I just seen it on the grill. You might as well just go ahead and get you a red hat at this point, Stephen A. Smith. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But what we're doing right now, this is helpful and this is having these conversations. I'm not a historian, but each and every one of us here on this panel, as well as the viewers, everybody here, we're like a family. We are a family, the Stacked Family
Like a
Movement.
giant tree.
And we knew about Hitler and Nazi Germany and
Hmm.
how he took over and rose to power. That thing lasted for 12 years, over a century, and it took something to happen. So if Trump keeps imposing these tariffs on China, Harold said it best in the chat earlier. I can't say that on here. What's going to happen? But we know what China is I'm gonna say this. China is sitting on ready. They're sitting on ready for it. And I hope the White House is one of them first places that they go pay a visit to too. Luigi style. If you know, you know, read between the lines. But my thing is this. You're thinking that you're gonna bully people, you're gonna beat people into submission. And it goes back to what Buzz was saying in one of the lives, which is perish or die. I'd rather die and live in my truth than to perish and just fall and be, what is the word I'm looking for, subservient to you and do what you want us to do, when that's not it. Queer people are not going anywhere, black people are not going anywhere. And then you have the audacity to try to erase the legacy and life of Harriet Tubman. Did y'all see that? It goes from Jackie Robinson to now Harriet Tubman. Who else are you going to try to erase? Any black person's contributions to the United States of America. Because black people, we built this country. And just as sure as we built that White House, our ancestors, as Jasmine Garten said, we can tear that shit down. We can tear it all down. We built it, we can tear it down. With your ass in it. Now, we're resting comfortably right now. But Al said it best on the panel earlier. And that is we can't just sit idly by. We have to say something. So April 20th, everybody, that needs to be everywhere. From what Al just read earlier,
Hmm.
that needs to be everywhere. In order to stop authoritarianism, because that's what this is. This is un-American. Everything that he's doing is un-American and illegal. You're deporting American citizens. You are not listening to federal judges. You are disobeying the court orders, and you are bypassing them and doing what you want to do. You and your guard dog Pam Bondi, which, by the way, she could use some Clinique under her eyes. Baby, I know a good makeup artist that can handle
Uh,
those bags really good. But at the same time,
not Clinique, Lord.
by you bypassing and doing what you want to do, you're not listening to the judges. This is straight on the path of authoritarianism. This is right out of the playbook of Hitler. Because Hitler staged an insurrection and a coup. It was in one of the documentaries that I watched on him. And that's how he rose to power. And the infighting amongst them, from Peter Navarro to J.D. Vance and Elon Musk, I believe it because Hitler and Mussolini, there was tension between both of them. So their egos will clash and the empire will come crumbling down. The same way Nazi Germany failed, because what was it? The Germans came, yeah, the Allies, all of them came in and took over and did what needed to be done. Those people were released from those concentration camps. Now we have people that are being in Guantanamo Bay that shouldn't even be over there. They're American citizens. They don't know when they're coming back, and the
Oh wow.
Supreme Court is disobeying the order, saying, "Hey, you need to bring this person back.
Hmm.
You need to bring this person back." They're still disobeying the orders. So for right now, I say we need to do what we're doing, and that is talking, having these conversations. If you're uncomfortable with queer people, you need to have a conversation to get a better understanding of us. The ones that are
That
willing to
part.
understand, and to the ones that are not, like those red pill space platforms who have that internalized misogyny, homophobia, transphobia. You don't want to let that shit go. That's on you. It's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm living my life comfortably, and I am existing in the context. And if you don't like that, that's on you, my love. That's all on you.
Black
You have to look in the mirror and fix that problem.
Yeah, Black Men Unfiltered Network. That would be you that she talked about. You and the other ones out there.
I ain't say shit.
Those
I ain't say no name.
those crazy ass.
I'm just talking about me. I ain't saying no name. But go ahead.
I said it.
I ain't gonna stop y'all. But go ahead.
No, I said it. Black Men Unfiltered Network. We've already been in there and heard that bullshit.
And now they're starting to see that what they bargained for, what they voted for, it's not working in their favor.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you have any brown in your skin, you are a target. You are a target in this country. So you can be Byron Donald. You can be down here. I love this guy, Tim Scott. You can be anybody else. If you got brown in your skin, you are not qualified for the job. There's one black person there. Was Secretary HUD? Where's Ben Carson, by the way? I haven't heard anything about him. Haven't seen him. Where's Ben Carson?
Deshaun, try to
But
mute
this
real quick until you ready to speak. Because you're getting feedback. I'm sorry. But go ahead, Queen.
this new gentleman that is there, he's unqualified for the job too, even though he's black. But he's a damn fool. Like they'll let go of you pretty soon, the same way they did with Ben Carson and the same way they did with Omarosa. Once they done using you, they will dispose of you like a used condom, honey.
Trojan man. Okay, Deshaun. Sorry, go ahead. Get you in here. Oh, not Deshaun. Don't
Yeah,
listen. Okay, there we go.
yeah, it's all set in place. And also, what else was I trying to say? Like, it's absolutely weird that we're in this time period where we're going back to the 1800s, the 1900s, and stuff like that, thanks to, like I said, the President of the United States, Elon Musk, and all those people that he had in that cabinet. And, Project 2025, when he knows that Project 2025 is active and it's going to be activated and it's going to be successful, because the Hulu sister that I watched said that it's going to be successful partially. That's going to be set in place. That's what she said it's going to be, predicted. Because one of the people asked the question, because she had one of those cards, and she said, "Oh yeah, it's coming in hot." Yes, it's coming in hot, definitely.
No weapon. That's gonna be my new saying going forward.
Most definitely, and also they're going to keep the money once all this all this confusion on the land of where I'm living in, where people are fighting all this. They're going to keep the money. They're going to run to the sunset.
It's always been a money game. That's what King Hannibal said, which is true. The most important color to these people is green. And we got to remind ourselves of that, because we spend our green trying to be validated again by a system that uses us and don't give a fuck. For example, look at the music industry. Look at the trap culture. That's not even our culture. Or shall I say, it's a fucked up transmutation of our culture. You have these issues going on in the hood with niggas killing each other over property, over street corners that they don't even fucking own, getting all this damn money. And now you have white record executives who thought it was a good idea to profit off of this. You mean we got black guys shooting each other, and they can become poets and shit and rap and shit? Because all rapping is you doing poetry and spoken words music in a rhythmic type of way. So we can have them do all of that, and then we can have them continue to go out there and kill each other. And then once they die, we can jack up the prices of their music to make more money, and then take an insurance policy out on them as well to make more money. Meanwhile, this nigga walking around with stacks upon stacks upon stacks beneath his mama to sell racks upon racks upon racks of baby back ribs to pay for this funeral off of somebody's EBT card. Like, this shit is crazy how that is set up for us. So we got to do something different. And to me, if this is the unpopular opinion, black people need to stop participating in the system. You have to. Just like what people do on strike. What they do when they strike in the company, they don't fucking work. I'll be outside and do the cha-cha slide. Am I going to suffer financially? Yes. but I got community. So whatever I'm lacking, I got people that may have what I need. Do you get what I'm saying? But that's why they want to get rid of the neighbor and neighborhood. Because if it's just the hood and we hate each other and we divided against each other, when the time comes, we're gonna take ourselves out and they can just come in and just do the easy cleanup because we did most of the fucking work. So again, we have to do something different. Boy Crazy says, fast forward to now, he has unvetted power over the U.S. Keon says, my question though is this: this frump, okay, is a twice impeached convict with even worse snakes running behind him. Am I the crazy one, or does it just seem like our justice system lacks a serious spine? How do y'all feel about that question? Anyone who wants to take a stab at it, go ahead.
Look, even the woman that was on the Hulu sister, she even said while we were fighting each other, you allowed this president, a convict, to be president under your nose while y'all was fighting on down here. Personal feelings that don't. We got bigger fish to fry, and this is what y'all be fighting over, some little shit. But now here we are. We're here with the president of the United States, Donald Trump, doing the most unethical thing that he's doing right now, which is overthrowing everything and then keeping us in a freaking deficit, which is going to cause every crash known to man. You know, people that are the younger generation probably don't even know what's going on because they're going to be brainwashed because they're going to be taught in this hellhole until they figure it out when they're older, or if they're not, because they're going to be in their old ways where, you know, this is what it is. Like this is, it's really sad. Like, it's really, really absolutely sad. And the thing is, we really need to start actually doing more, you know, we need to start, you know, sharing history and everything else to the public so that the public would know that, you know, that whatever they're saying is nothing but lies, absolutely lies. They want to rewrite history, and that's what it is. They're trying to erase what happened so that they can put their own 2 cents in it. That's it.
Agreed. T for T, what do you think?
What Deshaun said, you know, and that's it. We have gotten lazy in trying to understand our history. Some of us don't even know our history. Some of us are erasing our history, like Donald Trump and the Republican and the Trump administration. They want to erase our history, and they're doing it right under our noses right now. And we aren't doing anything to really stop it. But that's the key part, is we don't know our history, you know, and the shit that happened back then. They're not teaching. They don't want to teach it in schools. They're taking it out of the libraries. They are, you know, they're whitewashing it. It's just crazy. And because we don't know our history, you know, we reelected a severely mental ill person as president.
They reelected.
You know, yeah, they reelected. You know, and I'm not talking. You know, this is not nothing against people who are mentally ill. This is against someone who is severely mental ill
And has power.
and
has a lot of power.
Just like Hitler. And if you know your history, you would know that he's following that same playbook, and he's throwing some North Korea in there with it. And the question is, people, do you want to be like North Korea? You know, when they start shutting down our social medias, you know, because they're going to start coming, you know, they're going after the big people. They're going after the big people now. They're going after the, you know, the news anchors and, you know, the media and stuff, you know, like that. But eventually, they're going to be coming for us with small platforms, you know, because from the stuff that we said. And eventually, just like in that article I read, you know, they're going to shut down the media, and then they're going to control it, you know, because they have that Trump TV, you know, they have that Facebook, they have that, you know, they have that X Twitter, right? And they're going to be funneling the stuff that they want to tell people, just like North Korea. You know, and a lot of people don't know the history of North Korea, and some of the ones who do are dead now. But and other people, the younger ones don't want to know that history. But we will be just like that, where the media is controlled by the government that way. And
Mhm.
our voices will be suppressed, and the only stuff that's going to get out there is the stuff that they want to be out there. So we better do
Mhm.
something fast. We better
Yeah.
do something fast, because he's not only going down that playbook, that 2025 agenda of theirs. He's not only going down it, but he's going down it fast.
Mhm.
And
And
our rights and civil liberties, they're being taken away from us right under our noses.
right. Unfortunately, and it's a scary thing. And I do want to get to King Hannibal's comment because I do want to talk about that real quick, but I do want to answer Keon's question. And then once we get to King Hannibal's, then I will ask y'all again because I do want y'all opinion on it. Keon, no, you're not the one that's crazy. The reason why this system seems like it has a lack of a serious spine is because that spine is not made for black people. It's made for, according to what Harold's saying, if you're not white, male, heterosexual, rich, Christian, you are a target. So again, the backbone, the spine works for them and not for us. That is the thing. Keon says some judges are for sure pushing back on him, but it just feels like our justice system is showing some of its corrupted true colors with this dude and his obvious oligarchy. It's baffling. King Hannibal says this. King Hannibal says this conversation isn't substantive. It's always Republican versus Democrats when both parties don't give a fuck about black Americans. Now, before y'all go, I will say this. No shade. I can understand that being the case. Unfortunately, because a lot of our people in the community are like at lower levels when it comes to this stuff, we have to meet people where they're at. So again, because people don't want to get to the information right away. They like things, especially black people. We like shit extravagant, grand. So I got to be able to bait the people in reference to or what they're talking about, and then hopefully have conversations. Because to your point, I agree. Republicans and Democrats don't give a fuck about us. They are the two wings on the same fucking bird, the same hawk that is flying around in the sky, getting ready to go down with his sharp ass talons and fuck us up. There needs to be a third party that actually cares about the people. Because again, the Republicans care about those who are rich and white and wealthy, or for the most part have wealth with that, because at least with wealth, we can overlook your bullshit because you're paying for it. But as far as Democrats, somebody has to cater to what society, cater to what those people consider the dredges of society, those other people over there. We keep this American dream up. A lot of this shit is on our hands, which is why I say for us as black people, we have to just accept that the system will never ever want us. It will never ever give back to us. Jesus, white Jesus, could be knocking and sitting on their typing on their shoulder talking about now, Bill, now, Barbara, I need for you to go ahead and do it. And they will fight Jesus. They already saying that Jesus' ass was a punk ass bitch. He was too weak. So if they willing to do that on their Lord and Savior, they damn sure ain't gonna give a fuck about us, which is why black people, we have to do something different. If other ethnic groups, if other people can come from other countries and create their own neighborhoods, like here in Dearborn in Detroit, there's a city called Dearborn that's predominantly Muslim. Like we can have predominant cities where there is money invested, where there are our restaurants, where we are looking out for each other, where we are having community. When I go into those areas, especially when I be door dashing sometimes, you see all these people just coming together just in camaraderie with each other, know each other. We need to get to that part. That's what black people, if you ask me, need to be focusing on. What does black community looks like? Let's start having cookouts again. Let's start having block parties again. Let's start looking out for each other's family again. Your mom and daddy ain't home. Okay, come over here. You're gonna be at our house until your parent come home. Yeah, so and so, I got your child over here. I'm gonna make them something to eat. We have to start getting back to that, and we don't have that. And if we do not get back to that, especially if what they're saying about April 20th is true, then we're gonna really be fucked. So let's take the time we have now to do like what we're doing now. Talk to each other. We can have differences of opinions, but let's work through our shit to get to where we need to get to. So with that being said, to King Hannibal's comment, is anybody would like to give their commentary about it?
we we do need a we need a third party, a fourth party, a fifth party, a sixth party, a seventh party,
Oh,
other than
come on
just
now.
two or three party. Unfortunately, the that's all we have right now is Republican, Democrat. Those are the right now. Those are the strongholds. So I hate to say you got to go with the one of two, the best of two evils or whatever, because I don't really see the Democratic Party as evil. Yeah, there are oligarchs up in there, there are racists up in there too, but the majority of them aren't. And that party, the Democratic Party, does actually fight for democracy and for the underdog, where the Republican Party does not. The Republican Party I see as a greedy party. They're a racist party. They're a misogynistic party. They're basically a right wing religious cult party. Um, and I don't, I see more diversity, even though that stuff does exist in the Democratic Party. It's not perfect, but what we actually need, four, five, and six parties to challenge, that can challenge and run successfully against either the Republicans, the Democratic Party, or the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, or whatever. Just like some other countries do have that, Europe and stuff, like that. So, but unfortunately, right now we don't have that. So we have to go with what we have that will protect us, us black folks and the greater society at large. Until that day comes. But if this shit happens where Trump where he sticks the military out on us, and he shuts down social media, he shuts down our voices, and they repress. And if they successfully are able to repress us, it's not going to matter whether there's a five, six, or seventh party at all. We're going to be like Russia, where we still go out there and vote, but Putin always gets reelected, even though he didn't get the majority of votes. It's going to be rigged. And Trump or his successor is going to constantly be the Republicans and their party in office, destroying us and oppressing us and repressing us. So, but unfortunately, that's what we have right now is the Democratic Party. Those are the two strong parties. I don't like it, but it's what we have. Because the independents, not enough of them, even though they say it's a lot of independents, but they have to, in the general election, they got to vote for one party or the other, basically. You know what I'm saying?
I can understand that. I'm gonna have a rebuttal, but I would like not a rebuttal, but just a response. But anybody else would like to take a crack at it as far as the comment on the screen, Deshaun? I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking.
Wait.
You better go ahead and run, bitch. You about to get your practice, and here come the police. Run, they coming, girl. They coming, bitch. Run, girl, run. You too slow, bitch. Run.
Don't make me fall off this treadmill, please.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add, or do you want to focus and concentrate on breathing and not tripping over this yourself?
Wait. Okay, so what we need to do is, yes, we need a bigger community. We need people that needs to have their voice heard and stuff like that. Bring those people together. The ones that talk like me, that their voice is not heard and they're in the shadows. You know what I mean? You need to try to find people like that. Go to groups. You know what I mean? Go to Facebook groups. Try to find something that would actually build so it can be a bigger group, so that everyone can be pitching in. You know what I mean? That's what we need, so that we can have a big communication and a big channel, so that we all can communicate and stuff like that. So I think that's what we should do in the community, so that our voices can be heard and stuff.
So continue to talk to each other, to spread the word, not just in social media, but just word them out. Experiences. That's something you really can't take away or burn unless you do something to that person. And shout out to Deshaun running without sounding like, oh my God, you doing a good job with your birth control, bitch. Congratulations. I'm so happy. Okay, no shade, because one thing that I hate to do is cardio. I hate cardio so much, so I try to do other things to kind of offset it. But Queen Stevie, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about the um the comment on the screen?
Well, I'm gonna say this. Um, it goes back. I love what Al just said, which is everything that I was thinking. That the Republican Party has shown us constantly that they are about themselves. That if you are not white, male, Christian, rich, Harold put it in the comments best too. Everything, that's exactly what I was thinking. They're about themselves. And Donald Trump said that if you vote for me, just vote for me just one good time. We have it fixed so good, you'll never have to vote again. Now in Congress, they're supposed to be looking at this bill where women, if they don't have the correct last name, if it's not on the birth certificate, passport, or whatever, they won't be able to vote. They want to take away a woman's right to vote. They want to take away people who are in rural counties like myself and Harold. I'm in South Carolina, and we know the South Carolina will always be a blood red state. Like, it's not going to change. And so I had a conversation with a Trump supporter during the election. That was the only thing that we agreed on, was that is that South Carolina was going to be a red state. It is not going to turn blue. So what I think Democrats need to do is, you have people on the front lines like Jasmine Crockett, who I think is doing an outstanding job. Like, she's pushing back. And you see the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, and others, they're fearful of powerful black people who have voices. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to do what Al said they're going to do, and that is suppress journalists, because Donald Trump has labeled people like myself, Bubs, anyone, tit for tat, anybody, what did he call them? The press is the enemy of the people. That's not true, because you don't like what they're saying or giving people the actual truth. One of the judges that he appointed for the Associated Press put the Associated Press back on the press pool because he took them out. He took them out of the off of the press floor where they do the press briefings, and where you see the press speaker, homegirl that's up there always regurgitating the same lies as him, gaslighting us, Carolyn Levy.
Right.
You see her up there. But what I think the Democrats need to do is what they're doing right now. Take a page out of Cory Booker's playbook, which I think was genius. For you to filibuster for over 25 hours, because Republicans would have did it too. Republicans would have did the same exact thing. You need to pull out of their punch book, out of their playbooks. Punch them where it hurts. Because this playing nice and siding with them to censure Rep. Al Green, some of y'all are bending the knee and giving Donald Trump what he wants. The reason why they're doing this, King Hannibal, the Republicans and some of them, is because they're afraid of being primaried. Donald Trump has threatened their family members. There was literally wanted posters in the Capitol. Now, who the hell does something like this? This is not the Wild Wild West. We don't put up wanted posters of federal judges because they're pushing back and saying, no, you can't do this. This is illegal. This man wants to be a tyrant. And at the rate he's going right now, orb speed, very fast, we are losing all of our democracies, all of our freedoms under our noses. So what I think Democrats need to do is what they're doing right now, and that is pushing back. I love what Tim Walz is doing, which is meeting with people in red states, because MAGA Mike Johnson told the Republican candidates, the Republican their Republican leaders who were doing the town halls and things. Someone said something about town halls. He told them not to meet with them. And then when they do show up and voice their opinion, they're paid agitators. That's what he said they were. They were paid agitators. Elon Musk said the same thing too. No, your constituents are pissed off. They don't like what you're doing. They didn't vote for you. We all didn't vote for you. None of them. Now I'll defend them on that. No, they didn't vote for you. They voted for Donald Trump. That's them. But they didn't vote for Elon Musk to take away their 401k. They didn't vote for their benefits to be taken away. They didn't vote for your their military everything, pension, all of that to be taken away from them. They didn't vote for Elon Musk to do that. But Donald Trump allowed him in there to do whatever the hell he wants to do. And not just him, but RFK Jr. RFK Jr., he said he gonna let him run wild.
Lord.
This is not about those clowns right there. But I think the Democrats need to continue to keep fighting the good fight and doing what they're doing. Like Cory Booker said, you got to be the good kind of trouble. Like John Lewis, the late John Lewis said, you got to be the good kind of trouble. To filibuster for 25 hours straight, to go without water, to go without eating, standing up on that floor, Republicans would have did the same exact thing.
Strong
Trust.
did it.
Anytime you try to bring something to the table, they will always try, like what they're doing in North Carolina. Now, Keon, if I'm not mistaken, is from North Carolina. So in North Carolina, the courts up there, they're trying to overturn an election that was won by a Democrat for the courts. So when Republicans can't get their way, they always try to beat people into control because they know that their policies are unpopular with people.
Right.
Whereas Democrats like Jasmine Crockett, President Obama, who just recently said, I couldn't get away with half of this stuff that he's doing. We already know how racism works. And the Republican Party has shown us that time and time again, from Tommy Tuberville all the way back to Hoover, all the way back to Andrew Jackson. They have shown us who they are time and time again. But you have Democrats who are out here pushing back powerful black women like Letitia James from New York. You have Jasmine Crockett. You have Ayanna Presley. You have what's her name from MSNBC, and they let her go.
Joy.
And she's not really. Yes, her and then Tiffany Cross. Tiffany Cross, how she gathered all those white men. She was the only female at that table in a room full of men and bodied all of those white men at that table. So you have powerful black women who are on the front lines. And for my trans sisters, the trans community out here, you got Hope Giselle, who is always showing up.
Yeah, shout
You've
out to
got
Queen
the
Hope.
beautiful T.S. Madison, who was out here on the front lines. You've got Blossom, who was walking into the wolf's den and debating people like a Tucker Carlson and a Ben Shapiro. You have to beat them, gut punch them where they're at. That's how you fight back with these Republicans. It's no longer about bipartisanship because they're not interested in it. They are interested in controlling our every aspect. And as a woman, as a black trans woman, who is very sexual, by the way, who is owning her sexuality, who's owning her autonomy, I refuse to have a white man tell me what the hell I can and cannot do with my goddamn body.
That there.
So, again, I appreciate everybody's perspective because again, I'm sitting here and I'm just listening because y'all talking about it, motherfucker talking for 25 hours. Can you imagine Bubs, the guy talking for 25 hours? Shit, that'd be easy as hell to do. 'Cause I love talking. But I do think a King Hannibal again. Shout out to your Okay, somebody got a echo. I'm sorry. I think we good now. Yeah, shout out to King Hannibal for his perspective. There is a part of me, no shade, I ain't gonna hold. There is a part of me that kind of agrees with that, and maybe because I guess I'm just a little bit more militant in my thinking. Like I remember an individual by the name of Uncle Jeff. Shout out to him. He said something on a platform before where he said the whole thing about Republican and Democrat is basically both parties are trying to decide which color they're going to paint the slave master's carriage. Is it going to be red? Is it going to be blue? Because it's like overall, and I think what King Hannibal is saying, like starting with blackness, but on a grander scale, we are all slaves in this system. I don't give a fuck. We are all slaves. It is the haves versus the have-nots. That's why they're doing everything they can to remove middle class because every time one of us moves up and does the right thing, once we're now in their neighborhoods, not once we're in their schools, once we're in their environments, we're met with all this oppression all the time when we do the right stuff. So I think what he is saying is that no shade, Republicans and Democrats don't give a fuck about black Americans at large. At large. And we already know the Republican Party ain't gonna do it. We know where they stand. But for the Democratic Party, like being told every election, vote or die, this or die. that or die. It's like, damn, can we have live or something? Can we get something? That's why again a lot of black people chose not to vote. A lot of black people turned their backs on the Democratic Party because they also can see that the Democratic Party hasn't really fulfilled what we believe they can fulfill.
That's
Because
right.
if other people can get other stuff, but meanwhile we ain't getting shit, and we've been here longer than the rest of these motherfuckers. It's like going to a store. It's like going to a restaurant and ordering at a restaurant, and you've been there for a whole hour. Meanwhile, motherfuckers who just came in, they getting their food. You gonna be sitting there like, excuse me, how damn long is it gonna take for me to get my food, Pippin? So in a sense, I can understand that. Let me get to a few more comments and then y'all can respond. Um, Keon says, hot take. I never been down with the money rules everything around me mentality. Drives me up the wall when artists like myself get shunned while these mumbling one hit wonders get the numbers. And that is sad because as long as people operate or walk around with money rules everything around me, cash rules everything around me, cream, get to the cream. If you have that mentality, that means that you can always and forever be bought. So if I already set your mind up to be bought, when the opportunity comes, especially when you having hard times, and I come through with this breakthrough, you're gonna think about it. Just like our people say, "Oh, I'll never do this, I'll never do that." T.S. Madison said it best. She said, "Don't sit up there and think that you're not gonna be able to go. You say you're not gonna sell your body or sell your throat, or in the words of the great YB Entertainment, throat. You say you won't sell your throat, but imagine if your kids in there hungry and they crying because of hunger pains and the jobs offers ain't coming through and you're not getting no money in. Yeah, you're gonna have to sacrifice a little something. You're gonna think about that. So that's the sad part. But again, that's how they keep us controlled. Harold says they have the truth social also. That is the rights version of X. And if that's a motherfucking case, girl, maybe I need to go over there and see what the fuck they damn talking about, girl, and get into it with them bitches. Let me see what else. King Hannibal responds to Harold by saying, building infrastructure, businesses in our own community where we employ and educate our own. We are targeted because of our race, and they can victimize us because we are poor. King Hannibal also says this, and again, y'all open to respond. We will never get anywhere voting for the Democrats. You're saying the Democrats aren't evil, but they supported a genocide in Gaza. Any of y'all want to respond to that comment?
But Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu have been in cahoots. While Joe Biden has been trying to get a ceasefire deal as well as Kamala Harris, you had these pro Palestine, pro Gaza people showing up to her rallies and she's saying, we're working on it. Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu have been meeting to discuss property that he's going to be. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen the AI video. Have we all seen the video what Elon Musk and Donald Trump plan to do up there in Gaza on the Gaza Strip?
Yeah.
And how they are, I can't say that word on here, but what they're doing to these people who live over there, these are their homes, and you're going to put them in other countries too. So Republicans, what they do is we're going to ship, deport, we're going to fire, we're going to fire, we're going to fire, we're going to let go, ship, deport to other countries. So while Kamala would have been, how can I say, she would have been great to fix the issues that's going on over there because she wouldn't let Bibi Netanyahu do the stuff that he's doing. Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, as well as Elon Musk, have been having conversations behind the scenes during the election. So we would have gotten somewhere with the help of the Democrats. We would have gotten a deal. But Donald Trump would have just made it even worse, as he's doing with China right now, how he's handling this economy right now.
I can
So
understand that.
So what does
anybody who's pro-Palestine, pro-Gaza, you're showing up at the DNC breakfast. When the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, was going on, and y'all contaminated the food. Y'all put worms in the food at the commemorative breakfast. I remember that. Tabitha, Politics by Tabitha, covered that on her channel. So if you follow her, you would have known that Kamala was definitely for helping people over there in Gaza. She would have helped them. Biden was trying to help. But you had Donald Trump interfering. Somehow this man always seems to dominate the news cycle. And it goes back to what we were just which I was just talking about them controlling the news outlets and media. Putin owns the news media and outlet over there in Russia. So don't you dare put out a bad article about him, critiquing him or anything, because you'll wind up falling from a third story window. Netanyahu, Maduro, Orban, Kim Jong Un, North Korea, all of these men, these are strong men. These are our adversaries. And these are men that Donald Trump admires.
Mhm.
So the Democrats would have got a ceasefire. The Republicans would have do what they're doing right now. And little Marco Rubio with his little fucking red carpet stepping off of Air Force One wouldn't have done shit but deport people to out of the country. That's what would have happened.
So what does King Hannibal suggest? Does he suggest that we not vote at all, or that we vote? Do he suggest we vote for a third party or someone else who will not get will not get elected anyway? Because how has that ever worked out for us? So if we don't vote at all, because I don't see any other solution as far as like as far as like Democrats, Republicans of what to do as far as that situation is. The only thing I can gather from what King Hannibal is saying is don't vote at all. And that's why we're in this situation now, is because there's a lot of people who didn't vote, or they voted for Donald Trump and that party. So I don't, what's your suggestion, King Hannibal, of what do we do? I mean, other than, because eventually we're gonna revolt. It's going to be an insurrection, and the people are going to have to insurrect against the government. So we're going to have to revolt eventually. But as far as those
But
two parties, what do you do then? Because if both of them are evil and both of them are against us, then the only solution I see there is you don't vote at all. And then that's why we end up in these situations. A lot of them now is because we don't vote.
and I can understand that aspect. I do, but again, also being objective. Because again, shout out to the objectivists in the building. We got Boss Man in the building. Make sure, because
What's
I'm
up,
really don't
boss?
want to. I don't really want this live to be too long. Because Boss Man gonna be live later on tonight at 9:45, giving the the conservative niggas a wake up call. So again, make sure y'all subscribe to the Objectivist podcast with Boss Man. Okay, again, we in the building at 9:45. I'm trying to get this done before then. No shade, but this conversation is really good. But I think the answer to the question that you said, TPT, if you ask me, with taking what you said as far as okay, well, if the Republicans are bad, we know this as far as their history, but then we're also saying the Democratic Party is bad. Looking at the history, what do you suggest? We do not vote. Um, I can't speak for Hannibal, but from what he is saying, I think what he's saying is instead of, and again, King Hannibal, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not beyond reproach at all. Please help a nigga out, okay? What I think King Hannibal is saying is instead of voting in a system that keywords does not give a fuck about you, your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your niece, your nephew. All these individuals, if we're going to look at past, we got to take past into account as well of what has happened. I think what King Hannibal is saying is, again, instead of voting for Republican or Democrat or even independent, because again, the independence doesn't have enough weight behind it like the Republican or the two party system does. Instead of doing that, what he stated earlier was let's black people focus on building infrastructures and businesses in our own communities where we employ and educate our own, which means that we ain't got to rely too much on the system as like everybody else does because we are creating a parallel world to the system. Again, like you said, Black Wall Street. We were competitors against these people because we've always been the product. We've always been the slave mules. And when the slave mules have autonomy and create their own shit, because these white people wasn't out here doing the shit, it was us. So If we can focus on creating in our own, taking all our money that we're not giving to Target, we're not giving to Walmart. Matter of fact, we ain't giving it to somebody unless they melanated and it's for the cause of black people. We're going to pour our money into building infrastructures and businesses in our own communities, buy up our own the own land in our community, all the houses that are abandoned, tear all that shit down, buy the land. I forgot what type of deed you get, but there are loopholes. Trust me. These white motherfuckers be using loopholes, so niggas need to read. Please read, niggas. So find loopholes, buy property in your neighborhood. Then once you do that, you can employ your own. So for the black people who can't get no job because of DEI, now you have a job for black people that's beneficial and it supports blackness. Okay, and we can also educate our own. They trying to erase our culture. So if they're going to erase our culture, they can erase their culture from their system, but we still keep our culture alive in reference to what we're doing. Because, like you said, we are targeted because of our race, and they can victimize us because we are poor. So I understand what y'all saying. Like, if the system was in a state where it could truly be non-biased, it can truly be just, it could truly, honestly be fair, like the words that are inscribed on Lady Liberty, the words about men being free and the pursuit of happiness. Let's say that system was put in place for that to happen. Then I can understand people coming in, let's change the system and let's do this and let's do that. But that system is not going to change for us. It's not. And I really feel, just looking at history and stuff like that, if we keep going at it this same way in this same cycle, it will never change. So again, even with black people, we're gonna have to go into the area where our ancestors were, which was the realm of being uncomfortable, the realm of being uncertain, the realm of not knowing what is going to happen. But when you're in that space, then you have opportunity to make some real change. And the powers that be don't want you in that space. They don't want you to be okay with being uncertain. They don't want you to sit up here and face the fear head on. They want you to cower, oh my God, because again, like Queen Stevie said, if y'all not gonna love us or organically, we're going to force some inorganic shit on you by making you love us. And it's crazy because even if they were to do that, they will never be satisfied because at the end of the day, they know that it's not real. You know what I'm saying? It's just fake as fuck. Let me see. Harold responds and says, King Hannibal, are black folk ready to band together and do the work? All of what you said sounds good, but unless the collective is ready to put feet to pavement, all of this talking just won't do. And no shade, I feel like this talking happening on all sides. It's on the uh, the side of liberals, the sides of conservative. Like, this is what I wish we could do. Once we try to figure out what's going on in blackness and we start to branch out in reference to other areas of humanity, if there are people on the left who feel betrayed, feel used, and there are people on the right who feel betrayed and feel used, then we need to start having conversations with those people who feel the same way. There are people right now who voted for Trump who are regretting it. And because they voted for Trump, they're going to be innocent casualties, even though they may have been dumb, even though they may not be racist. They could be voting, they could be single issue voters who are voting for him because he said he was going to do this. Even if it's at the expense of everybody else, people also have to think about themselves. So once they get to a place where they can be open and honest about what they've done as far as doing the wrong thing by voting for this man, if you're, with humanity, voting for this man is wrong. But we have to also create space for those individuals to be redeemed. But you don't be redeemed like that. No, 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 no. You want to be redeemed? Take your ass out in the streets and protest. Do what we do. Matter of fact, use your privilege to the max. I need y'all to be Karens in the street. I need y'all to be talking to those police officers. Excuse me. No, 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 no. I'm writing a letter. I am writing a letter. Get your chief down here, goddamn it. Because white people can cuss motherfuckers out and cuss them out. They be cussing the police out all the time. Fuck you, asshole. Oh my God, you fucking asshole. Leave me alone, dumb it. They can do that. We got to keep our hands on the steering wheel and can't motherfucking move and can't breathe and shit. So there's so much, and that's why I like having all these different opinions because, like they said on I think it was the House of Dragons, and I say this a lot. In order to slay a dragon, you can't just hit the dragon head on. You got to hit it from multiple angles at the same time, at different times. You have to overwhelm the dragon in order to slay it. So we have to overwhelm the system. How do we overwhelm the system? By not participating. And we're going to have to be serious about it. And see, I think they're saving all of the death and destruction and doom and gloom for when we do that. Because it seems like the only time we're going to do that is when bullshit is imminently right at our front door. Because Americans have a very big problem of, oh my God, that's so sad. Oh my God, that's so horrible. But they continue to doom scroll. They continue to change the channel. But no, that shit's not happening in a distant land. It's not just shit happening in Gaza. Some Gaza shit about to start happening here in America. And just because we Americans and think that God chose us, we about to see how much God really loves us. He loves us equally, just like everybody else, which is why we're going to get our comeuppance. And if only we would have dealt with racism, if only if we would have dealt with queerphobia, if only we would have dealt with xenophobia, femphobia, if only we were able to deal with these lower vibrational things, if only we were able to deal with poverty, with homelessness, with hunger, if we were actually able to deal with these things, if these individuals who got all this fucking money and billions upon billions of dollars actually gave back to the people would love them. And you know, black people love your ass. What motherfuckers talking about cashing Trump checks and putting Trump in their song before Trump became president? Come on, somebody. Let me see. Harold says correction. Correct, Stevie. Tangerine Man is actively in bed with that man because I'm gonna fuck that name up. King Hannibal says the war in Gaza started under the Democrats. They continue to fund and provide them with weapons after protest here in the U.S. And he also says, how has voting helped black people in the last 20 years? Anybody want to take a stab at that? If not, that's okay. Because this is the purpose of these conversations to talk. I
Well,
don't know everything.
voting when we actually do vote in a Democratic president,
Mhm.
when we do, and then we don't go in midterms and vote them out, but when
Mhm.
we do get we don't get everything that we want. Nobody gets everything they want, but
Correct.
we
Correct.
do get some stuff. We have gotten some health care through
Mhm.
Obamacare, which we didn't have before. So it's not perfect.
Correct. Correct.
It's
Correct.
not perfect, but you know, but it's something, when we went out and voted, we did, back in the day, we did get
I'm gonna mute you, Deshaun, until you ready to speak. I'm sorry.
got you know, the woman's right to choose, abortion rights and stuff, like that. Yeah, they've been rolled back and taken away. We did get some civil liberties from voting. We
Mhm.
did get some gays and lesbians and stuff. We did get some civil liberties and stuff that we didn't have from voting. That didn't come from not voting. That came from, it came from voting. It didn't go because we went and yelled at the government, or we went out
Mhm.
and protested in the street. We had to vote,
Mhm.
in order to get those things. We had to go vote in our local elections. We had to go vote in the school board. We had to go vote, in the general election in order for us to get something. So if we don't
Mhm.
vote, we really are going to be pushed further and further behind.
Mhm.
Um, no, it might not be perfect, but yeah,
Right.
that's where your civil liberties and all that stuff comes from voting in the right people. When you vote in the wrong people, then we get what we got now, this negative effect.
Mm.
So yeah, there's problems with voting and everything too, but
Mhm.
you know that's how we do get, because we vote in the legislators and we vote in the government that can protect our democracy. That can't, it's not going to be perfect, and we're not going to get everything that we want, but we
Mhm.
will get some things if we go in and vote in the right people. When you vote in the wrong people, they take your shit away. You know, and
Mm,
no, not everybody in the Democratic Party votes, votes along party line or whatever, because we have those what they call, those whatever the hell they want to call themselves, Democrats, um, blue dog Democrats or whatever. But the majority of the Democrats would, once they are voted into office, they do help the general populace, and sometimes they help the little subgroups and stuff too. But mostly the laws and the rights and stuff that Congress and them pass is for the whole populace. And we still got
okay.
to get out there. So, we still got to get out and put our grievances out there towards the government, and sometimes it takes a long time. Civil rights didn't just come right away, just when, in 1964. You know, we still have to fight for those. Our issues and our problem come is because we get complacent. We'll go in and we'll
Mm,
go and vote, this time, but then we get complacent and we don't follow up and we don't hold them accountable. And when you don't hold them accountable, somebody else comes in and holds them accountable, and then they get the then they get the laws and civil liberties and freedoms and stuff that they want, and ours get taken away. So it's a give and take, but all of it, all of it is everything that we do, even staying home. Okay, even staying home is uh you know it's like all aspects of protest and resistance, all of it matters. All of it is, protest marches and rallies, they matter.
mhm,
Okay, organizing, educating the masses and stuff, voting, even sitting your black ass down matters.
mm,
That's a form of protest. Supporting black owned businesses, that's a form of, that's a form of protest and stuff too, and petitioning your government. All of that matters. Not one single thing left out does not, does not matter. I don't know if I'm wording that right, but everything we can do, even
right,
going out there protesting or sitting home and looking out the window because we're fed up and we're tired. That's a form of
right.
protest. It's all okay and it all matters.
Okay, so you're saying basically all forms of protest have a place,
Protests
basically.
have a place. If we don't get out there and show how damn angry we are and we just sit at home and don't get out in the masses, then, of course the government is going to say, they're going to just, we'll just mow right over them. You know, Eventually we're going to have to revolt. We've had protests and stuff now, and they're gaining and they're gaining, but eventually they're going to get bigger and bigger because once they really start taking all of our damn rights away and suppressing us, we're going to have to do something, because we ain't going to have no black businesses support. We're not going to have no own black businesses or anything to support, if we are even further suppressed as a people.
Mm, I can understand that. So I guess if the system was again like in a better position for that to happen,
Right.
as far as black people finally getting something, how
Right.
would you feel about, like, hypothetically speaking? Okay, whatever the government gives to us, we'll take what they give us. But as far as the other stuff, like you said, may not be able to get everything in reference to the system. But as far as our experience and reality on this planet, we can get as much as we motherfucking want. So, like, maybe if we had more of the community and the neighborhood, again, that whatever the government doesn't give, we can find that in the neighborhood. But the issue is we don't have that
Well,
in the neighborhood. So,
it's not even the government. They're not giving us shit. That's our money. That's our stuff. And if we don't fight, you know, our liberties, we're human. Those are our rights to live, exist, and breathe. They're not giving us
Yeah.
shit. That's our stuff that should be if you believe in God, whatever religious entity you believe in, you can say our God-given right, our liberties, our freedoms, even if you don't believe in God, um,
And it should be preserved.
right, our rights as American citizens, those are our rights. They're not giving us shit. We, those are ours. the money we pay into the system, and if we need assistance, you know,
Mhm.
we need some food stamps or we need some government assistance, we need some medical,
Mhm.
whatever. The majority of Americans of working age are paying
Mhm.
into that system, so it's ours. They're
Mhm.
not giving it to us.
Mhm.
That's what we are owed.
Okay, well, I stand corrected in
Out
the
there, we have to
giving.
get out there and fight for it. We have to make
Right.
them give it to us because if you don't make them give you stuff, they're not going to give it to you. They're going to give it to them.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying in the aspect. I guess I was just saying it in the fact of when you were talking about, if we do get somebody who is democratic, who does care about the people, that we're not going to get everything. We're going to get
Yes,
some things. And I was asking in the context of like, okay, well, what happens if whatever the government decides to give us, which are those things that even we can be like, even though it ain't everything, I'm okay with this. What I'm saying is, can we also do that while also
yes,
creating in our communities so that whatever it is that is lacking that they're not going to give us? 'Cause like you said, we got to fight. Why I got to fight you to give me some shit that's mine?
right,
That makes no sense. But
right.
yet when it's time for you to pay back, now all of a sudden you on dial up internet shit. You on AOL now. We in 2025. So, but let me see real quick. Harold says, what are the pros of withholding your vote? Every time I ask this, there's no valid argument for why we should vote. Well, I kind of gave my idea, and again, it's very unpopular, no shade, but I mean, based on my perspective, again, my perspective is not everybody else's, and I'm grateful for that because I get to learn. But from my perspective, again, like the system really doesn't care. If we have to continue to fight for a system to give a fuck about us, and we've been doing this for centuries, when are we gonna wake the fuck up and realize that we not want it? Keon also says, to tit for tat's point, I truly pray it doesn't get to that point. As much as I want to see this dude leave office, it better not come to that, or it's free game for everyone for real. The Purge movie. King Hannibal says, "Thank you for." He says, "Thank you for proving my point." So nothing specifically for Black Americans. But Bossman also says this too: voting is useless if you George Foreman vote. Set and let. Vote without staying engaged and informed. So how do you feel about that right there? What Boss Man said.
Correct.
Okay, Queen Stevie, Deshaun, y'all want to share anything? Because we about to wrap it up in a minute.
Yeah, if you don't vote, there is if y'all don't vote, then it goes over to the college or something, and they vote
Probably
for
over
that.
people.
And the majority of those rich freaking people, they'll vote for you. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Like it will go to the college vote or whatever you call it.
That's right.
Electoral
That's where it
college,
will
you mean?
go, and they decide,
He said
Right.
that college shit.
and that's it.
And then they take your shit. They go and they
And they take your exactly.
shit.
Exactly. They take everything away from you. That's
Slaves.
the reason why it's important to vote and stuff like that. Because the thing is, we were actually in the blue when Kamala was there, when Kamala was in the campaign and stuff like that. What happened was, again, Elon Musk was the one that spiked the vote, and also those people down in Atlanta or whoever somewhere down south burnt some of the people's vote that voted for Kamala. That also as well, because they wanted Trump so bad in office is ridiculous. So they wanted to cheat the vote because they're the ones that actually cheat the vote. Those white people that actually are mega.
And I actually did a show on this. So I listed everything that we got, everything from our vote for voting for Obama and for voting for
Hmm.
Biden. I listed
Hmm.
in that live, or it wasn't a live, it was a video that I
Okay.
but I listed in there the stuff that we did get from our vote for voting for the Democrats, and I also
Okay.
put in there what we got from Donald Trump and the Republicans. You know,
Hmm.
when Trump was elected in 2016. 15, 16, whatever. So that's all,
Mhm.
anybody want to go check that out, you can check that out because I did.
Yeah, please make sure. Yes.
Yeah, because I'm not going to list all of that stuff here, but I did go and list what we did get, and that came from our vote for voting them in, and it was quite a bit of stuff, But a lot of people, I hear black people say this all the time. Well, they don't give us nothing, we don't get nothing. I'm not going to vote because I don't get anything out of it, Uh, you are getting some stuff out of it. They're just not going to they're not going to research to find out the stuff that's helping them, But they still want their it ain't just black folks, it's everybody. But you still want your government assistance, you want your welfare, you want your Medicaid and your Medicare, you want your Social Security, you want your health care. It's a whole you want your school, you want your school funding, which that comes really locally, but the government still helps and assists with all of that. So it's a lot of stuff that we get from voting, and there's a lot of stuff we don't get because we don't vote the right way. We vote against our interests, and then we whine and cry about what we're not
Yeah.
getting and what happened and why are they doing this to me, or whatever, and I'm suffering. But we vote against our interests, and then that's what you get. You got what you voted for.
But what I want you to do after the live, if possible, T for T, if you can remember that video that you have, see if you can leave it in the comment section after this live, because I definitely want to watch it, and I want my supporters to watch it as well, because I would like to be able to learn that. Because again, I don't know everything. I just get up here and share the information that I know, and that we can all come together. And who knows, like you might know something that I don't know that fills in the missing piece for me, and that's the environment that I want to create. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, y'all, because this is about to be 9:40. Let me see. We can start with Queen Stevie. Queen Stevie, you have any lasting thoughts that you would like to leave with the panel?
Yeah, just keep continuing to do what we're doing now, which is talking, forming community, having these conversations, having the difficult conversations. Because if we don't, then we're going to be stuck right here where we're at right now. We're living under authoritarianism. This is no longer a democracy. This is the new norm. And our world is being turned upside down right before
You
our
kind of
very
sound a little low, Queen.
eyes. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better, much better. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I was saying that this is the new norm. This is where we're at right now. We no longer have a democracy.
Right.
But Kamala said something, and that is we still have a democracy if we fight for it.
Right.
But we have to continue to keep doing the work. We have to. Well, black people have done the work. Now it's their time to do the work. They voted to put us in this position. Let them fix it. But our time, when it's our time to organize and do what we got to do, we know what we're doing. And we're doing it now. We have to have the difficult conversations. So I would encourage people to mobilize, to form community, to find your joy, to more importantly protect your peace, because you're going to see a lot of headlines, breaking news every single day. This man has flooded the zone, and Steve Bannon said that that was something that they were going to do. So I would encourage everybody to find your joy, to find your peace, to protect your peace and your mental as well also. So that's what I would tell people.
Okay, thank you for that, Queen, and I do agree. Like, love yourself, honor, cherish yourself. Do a little dance with the fan and shit if you need to, but stay vigilant. Connect with other people, and do what we and if you do that, we can make it through. No shade. T for T, you have anything that you would like to share before we go?
Yeah, I'm gonna just read this little short quote from Thomas Jefferson, back that he wrote in
Okay.
1787. It says, "The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants." This quote suggests his belief that insurrection or rebellion might be necessary to preserve liberty and counteract tyranny. Jefferson also expressed the idea that when a government becomes oppressive and fails to protect the rights of its citizens, the people have a right to revolt. He viewed insurrection as a potential means for the populace to reclaim their rights and defend their freedoms. In summary, Jefferson's perspective on insurrection was that it could be a legitimate response to governmental tyranny and an essential component of maintaining liberty in a democratic society.
Oh, good. Okay. Hello.
Oh, I'm here. That's it.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to be sure because I be hating to cut people off when I talk, but yes, make again. Shout out to the quote. I be telling y'all, sometimes motherfuckers know so much shit they just put it in a quote for your ass to help you. Okay, so you ain't got to read the shit to be able to help you out a little bit.
Yeah.
But T for T, thank you. I appreciate you and your perspective. Make sure y'all subscribe to T for T. Okay. I believe I have. If not, I'm gonna have his information down below. I think Harold shared it in the comment section, and we definitely gonna have him back. Shit, I'm looking forward to being on his platform soon. Cause like I said, sometime I want to go to somebody else's house, kick off my shoes, and relax my feet. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying because sometime when I be sitting here and I be controlling the shit and I be high as hell, sometime this will happen.
Oh, not that. Not that.
Y'all see how he just staring right at the camera? He just staring at the camera, high as hell, just staring. You all right, bud? I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, that
No
when
shade.
that camera went when it was zoomed in on him like that, it was like it really traumatized me.
When I first saw that clip, I was like, "What song can I put underneath there?" And I started thinking about you, Deshaun, with the damn T.S.
Wait,
Patterson shit or whatever. And I was like, "Let
wait.
me put this on there." Cause see, my man, hold on, I got this little thing. I'm about to turn. Hold on, I'm about to turn to it. Hold on one second. Hold on.
Cause see, my man. Cause see, my man. He don't fuck with y'all homosexuals like that. Cause see, my man. He'll be messing with y'all punks like that. Cause y'all be doing that gay shit. He don't like that. Cause see, my man. Okay. He wear boxes with dick holes in them, girl, and he got a little bit of shit in the back of him. So I know he's straight. Cause see, my man. Stop.
Oh my God.
Let me stop being stupid. This motherfucking, I got this little thing here, girl. All the different sounds and shit. Girl, I'm about to have Deshaun peeing on himself, bitch. When I tell you, it was one time we was talking, girl, having a video chat, girl, and I had him laughing so bad he was sliding out his damn chair. I'm glad he not on his treadmill because he showed would have been a quadriplegic, I said quadriplegic, paraplegic, and all of that, girl. He'd been fucked up.
Yeah, Deshaun was our short
Lord,
Yeah,
but
he was telling me the chair was fighting with me and the chair won.
hell yeah, the chair was like it was dragging him back. I said, bitch, how the fuck you fall off the chair and the chair dragging you back? And you in front of it. Damn. Jesus. What's going on, Lord? But Deshaun, do you have anything that you would like to leave us before we head on out of here?
Leave people alone, please. Leave people alone. Oh my God. Just leave people alone.
This Deshaun right here.
That's one thing. And
you wanted it,
okay,
and you got it.
You what?
You wanted it,
and you what?
And you got it. You would that vibe would never leave you, nor forsake you.
So that vibe.
I ain't got no teeth inside, boy, I can gum you down. Let me put this mouth on you, baby. Put this mouth on you, baby. I ain't got no teeth inside, boy, I can gum you down.
She got real serious, gumming you down. The second verse came on, she was done. She took that teeth out and said, I ain't got no weapon. Okay, let me stop.
Me.
Lord, no shade. I kind of want to see what it's like. I low-key want to see what it's like to get a little gummy yummy. Shit, it might be a different experience.
Little gummy yummy.
Hell yeah, feel like you fucking a marshmallow peep. Like, what is this?
Oh my God.
What is this?
So this is what it feel like. Let me stop. Lord have mercy. But anyway, I want to thank y'all for
Oh my
joining
god.
us for this
Oh,
live. We definitely got to keep this live up. Again, if you want to join the Short Stack Revolution on Instagram,
oh.
here are the parameters. Here's what you need, girl, in order to do that. First of all, you have to be a subscriber of Bubs the Guy and at least a subscriber for a month. You need to be engaging in the comment section so I know, okay, and can see your name and shit and kind of feel your vibe because the way shit going, girl, motherfuckers infiltrate shit, girl. We all be on the list. We all be on the bus, bitch, getting shipped to the concentration camp, girl. And if that shit happen, girl, whoever told, bitch, I'm gonna whoop your ass in the spirit realm, girl. Fuck the physical. I'm just saying. But King Hannibal, if you're still here, if you can, if you are on Instagram, follow me on Instagram or send me a DM. I definitely want to have you on the platform and have a conversation because there is another viewpoint that I would like to go
Mhm.
into in reference to this conversation about
Yeah.
blackness that I know is not very popular. And I feel like what he was saying in the comments, I kind of want to explore that more. That's just me. Just another alternate way
Wait,
of thinking that could be beneficial for all of us. Because again,
wait.
there's pieces of information everywhere. But go ahead. Somebody saying
Oh,
something?
yes, Bubs. Before you go, we should bring in an extra person in here too. Another YouTuber that plays bingo. His name is Cash or something like that. We
Oh
need to bring him
Lord.
to the panel. We do.
Okay, girl. Hold on. Before we get this shit, let me go ahead and do this shit real quick before I spill some of Deshaun's tea. Deshaun ass done found this damn fine, light skinned ass nigga with pretty eyes that go and play bingo and shit. And I be asking, why you be watching? He just like, oh, I just love his bingo skills. You mean the bingo skills of him digging off in your ass, probably, or spending some of that money that he won from them old ladies that he stole from them with they damn daubers and shit? Girl,
That's how he likes.
what's going on?
That's how he likes how you talk. He likes how you sound. He likes listening to you. So he likes your voice.
Hell yeah, I didn't know that voice can make motherfuckers melt and shit. Damn. I recently found out I got some say so TV powers. I can make tops turn into bottoms and shit. I'm like, wait, what? This is a practice? This is an energy?
but
That's something I rebuke.
but it's something about. But listen, the T for tat. You gotta admit, it's something about his voice. It's like, when he talks, freaky and stuff like that, and like,
Oh Lord.
just put your headphones on. Put your headphones on and just listen. Just sit back and like, ooh, oh
So
my
basically, what you're
god.
saying is I could be making another source of income by being a sex call worker. Because I think somebody told me in the comments last time was like, you ain't never called the chat lines back in the day. Who knows? Now, if y'all willing to cash out above the God a little pretty little penny or something over $100, and you want a nice little 3-minute video of me saying some freaky shit, I'll do that all day. So hit me up in the cash app, baby. Cause
It's
I do
just,
that. I already love acting and being a voice
it,
actor and shit. Things I want to aspire to. I will go ahead and do some shit. What you need me to
it's
say, I'll do it.
yeah, it's like an
Okay.
advertising voice. It's like you're advertising the way you. It's like when I first heard you, it's like, oh yeah, you know what I mean. It's kind of like your voice is like an advertisement, and when he was talking sexual, it's like, oh, this is perfect.
So what'd you do?
This is
Wet your pants?
no.
Did you have a little drippy drip come out of your panties?
Girl, so it wasn't my intellect. It wasn't my damn content. It was my damn voice that got this nigga. You better be glad I ain't no goddamn scammer in another damn country swindling your ass out of millions of dollars.
So your
My
voice
my
got
auntie my
voice.
auntie died and she left $45 million, but I need $1,000 to unlock the $45 million, and I would give you $20 million. Get the fuck out of here. I'd be like, Deshaun, you need to go get some ice or something and put it between your legs. Or you need to go ahead and go move to Antarctica or something to calm down all that damn heat and shit you got going on. You are very fertile right now.
So
Very fertile.
Deshaun and this guy you talking about, the bingo player, have you put his link or his video in the
Yeah, Keon said he want to know
Yeah,
his
you
channel.
got to scroll up a little bit.
I'm gonna go look for it. I think I probably already saw it, but I'm gonna go back and look for it again. See exactly who Bubs is talking about.
It ain't
Yep.
me what I'm talking about. It's what the hell he talking about. He the one that's talking about he liking this man because of his big old skills. Cause he died D27 and all that shit. It's just
Oh
something
yeah,
about the way he dobs.
what
yeah.
what
It's
thing got
it's his plays. You know what I mean? He got the skills and stuff. You
Oh
mm,
know.
Lord, Hero said, "Bubs, not you got date Breezy over there with Lord, Lord. If he was a female, he would have dropped at least a teaspoon. No shade." But I want to thank y'all for joining me for this live. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Queen Stevie in the building. Shout out to King Tiff for Tat in the building. Again, make sure y'all go over to his channel, subscribe, as well as to Queen Stevie. Shout out to Deshaun in the building. Shout out to King Harold for being in the building. Shout out to Keon for being in the building. Shout out to King Hannibal. And again, King Hannibal, if you're still here, if you making it past the very zesty, moist ass gay conversation we have in a little bit, okay? Because
No, mommy. Mommy. If you can make it past the mommy part, King Hannibal, I'm gonna need for you to come through and hit me up in the DM so that we can have a conversation on here about the different conversations to see mommy. Let me stop.
Oh my God.
let me stop being stupid. Shout out to King King Hannibal. Shout out to the objectivist. I'm about to be in his comment sections in about a minute or so because he's live right now. Make sure y'all subscribe to him and
yep.
check him out because baby, he finna talk a whole bunch of shit, baby. He about to bring us some shit from last Wednesday. It's about to be good. I'm about to roll up and everything and put this shit in the air fryer. Okay, no shit. Shout out to
Uh-oh.
him.
Yep.
Shout out to Boy
Oh
Crazy
my.
in the building. I said that girl, the air fryer turn you on too.
No, no, no. I was talking about what you were talking about with Boss Man.
Oh Lord, what's going on, Deshaun?
Yeah, I'm gonna get
I already told you what your birthday gift gonna be. We got Queen Spicy. Shout out to her for being here. Who else? I think that was it. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to those who peeked in. Shout out to the replay gang. Okay. And again, share your thoughts in the comments. Please make sure you hit the like button because it helps this channel to grow in the algorithms. We are at 859 on the road to 1K. If you like the vibe over here, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you can stay up to date with all of my content and lives and more panel discussions. Okay. If there's anything that was said in this live that you agree with, please make sure to screen record it and share it on your platforms, social media platforms, and tag me as well as my guest on there so that we know that it's real. And if you feel compelled, come on, Queen Spice, and knew what was up. You can definitely hit that cash up, $ Bubs to God. And I'm serious, bitch. If you send me $100 and Mo, and you want me to do a little 3-minute 1-2 for you personally, let me know because I will do it. Don't play. Deshaun already heard one of my damn stories that I made up that they struck off and got off of YouTube twice, and I ain't even premiere. So if you want the freaky leprechaun side of Bubs the guy, where I can and fuck up your mind and shit with my voice and seduce your damn ears and shit, turn you on from the inside out, because that's the only way I'm doing it. You can definitely cash at me at $ Bubs the guy, and I will do it. And I won't tell nobody. Only me, you, Jesus, and your grandmama gonna know about the shit. But again, thank y'all for joining me. For those of you who are going over to Boss Man's Live, I will see y'all there. Y'all make sure to enjoy the rest of y'all Wednesday evening. And until next time, everybody, peace.
Peace.
I can be anything I choose in this round. We are a sound vibration too deep to tell.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us today here on Tit for Tat, This and That. And thanks for joining in on Bubs the Gods live. And thanks to Queen Stevie, Deshaun, Harold, Keon, Spicy, all the short stack. Uh, Thanks for checking in and participating in this panel discussion. And please go check out their platforms, their channels. Bye, Dallas. Bye, world.